this has been a roller coaster ride of a team, right? Last year, we beat the Patriots' asses. We thought we were going to go on from there and beat some more asses, and we didn't. And then this year, it kind of started off slow, and now we're seeing this team start to come to a flow. They're starting to gel together. The defense, especially, offense as well. They're both climbing in the rankings and stats. But now we have this blow of Yannick Ngakoue, broken ankle, out for the season. Currently the sack leader for the team at 4, 2 since the Montez Sweat trade. And I'm a little bit, I don't know if I should be concerned, but I feel like my initial emotion is to be concerned. And guys, how you doing tonight? Do you feel similarly?
What's there to really be concerned about? Because we weren't doing anything 2 weeks ago.
Well, we felt like we had a chance here now coming into the stretch, but go ahead.
Still had a chance.
I get it, but you're saying we're a playoff team now, and
True.
We're not. This week, a lot of things could change this week.
Yeah.
So, this is our playoff game again, and as long as we get growth every week, man. This is a young team. We've got a second-year head coach, a second-year offensive coordinator. So if you break it down, the whole team is young as far as football terms of what's involved.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done a lot of growing together for good and bad. I mean, all the negative stuff that we've been saying about Getsy, he's got 4 more games to show himself.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of options on the table for this team, and options can be good, man. So we're on the up.
Everyone's kind of on that, the watch list right now. They're all auditioning for next year in a way, right? Well,
yeah, everyone's always auditioning. I think we've been doing that since week 1. But technically, Foster, we are a playoff team right now. We're in the hunt until we're not.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, the toughest test was last Sunday against the Detroit Lions. The Browns are banged up. On paper, they're a great team. They're 8-5 right now, right?
Defense.
And PJ, I know this opens up the door for you for Chase Young now because he's broken his ankle and he's out for the rest of the year. So insert Chase Young, guys. But how do you feel about that?
Well, I look at it like as a team, in your second year of a rebuild, for you to be in a position to have an opportunity. Because that's what we have is an opportunity to make the playoffs. So to be in a position to where you're not like New England is this year or Carolina where you have no hope. We actually have some hope into a second year of a rebuild where you hear all the noise about get a new quarterback, or you're hearing noise about we're not there yet, our offensive coordinator isn't it, but we're still in a position and the opportunity to do something. So I consider ourselves fortunate, and I'm real curious to see what this team does with this opportunity. Are they going to fall flat on their face, or are they going to put up a good fight? Because even if they don't make the playoffs, I want to see them fight. Mm-hmm. And that's what you really want to do, be able to see and say whether or not Fields is the guy. Did he put up a fight, or did he just lay down? That's the key, not just for Fields, but for Getsy, Eberflus, and everyone else. Put up that fight.
Yes. More on that to come. We have our guest, CJ, is coming back. CJ, the real CJ, coming back to join us tonight. We are excited to have him back as our guest. Walt, let's kick the show off. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bears Country Podcast. Our special guest, CJ, coming up for a second turnaround. He was an excellent guest last time. We are excited to have him back. But before we get started, let's please remind you that we are now presented by BetUS. Go check out BetUS.com, every sports bettor's favorite sports book. They have a bunch of great perks as well as exceptional service. Use that link in the description and get a 125% bonus when you sign up. Place your bets with BetUS. That means you put in $50, you get 75. You put in 100, you get 125. And PJ?
And for those of you who will bet, please bet responsibly. There are many 1-800 numbers or whatever to help you with your betting addiction if that's what you have. So please be careful with your bets.
Please do. Guys, I'm excited to bring on CJ here in a second, and it's great to talk to you guys again on this Thursday night. I just want to let you guys know like how much I appreciate you guys. You guys are killing it with you're doing the Sunday show now. I don't know if you're doing it this weekend or not, but you guys do a great job with that. Let us remind you that we have the British Bears now coming up on BCP on Wednesday nights at 5 p.m. Central Time, and of course the last call with Hallis Hall with Dan Aguirre coming up this Monday. Lynn Hayden has been down with a knee replacement surgery, so I think we're going to give her a little bit more time before she decides to come back for a show. But guys, it's great to see you guys again tonight. I'm excited about what we have coming up here with this team because there's a lot of variables that are in play here that could mean a win. Let's bring on our guest, CJ, without having him wait any longer, please. What's up, my man?
How's it going? What's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me again.
Good to see you.
Great to have you on, my friend. How are you feeling about this injury to Yannick?
Thank you. The only thing I could think of is was he really present? Like, was he really present? Am I going to miss him? Is the only thing I can think of is, am I really going to miss seeing Yannick on the field? And I'm not sure. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm going to miss seeing him on the field. He was the benefactor.
See, I told you we had a shitty connection, guys.
Late last week.
CJ, you have a terrible connection, man.
I don't know.
You want to try resetting your internet and hopping back in?
Restart your internet and then restart your phone.
I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Okay. We're getting a major delay with you, though. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I loved what he was saying, though. He's making some good points here. Because I said this when I told my buddy, that he was injured out for the season. He said, "Good. This means that the younger guys get to have a place. They get to have some playing time on this team. So it could be a good thing for this team, right, guys?"
Could be.
You got. It's the next man up and try and turn it into a positive, man.
Mm-hmm.
These young guys will get some more playing time, and maybe they check out where some of the different positions they can put them in to make this defense even more dangerous, man. Coming down the road here, they've really come a long way from the first 4 games. Look at it. Since Blues took over control of running the defense, he's got some input from Snow, and since they grabbed Sweat, it's been nothing but a climb. And the numbers show that. What are we giving up now? Like 19.2 points a game. If you can score, like I brought this up a long time ago. I'm like, man, if the Bears can hold everybody to 20 or less and score their 26, 27, 28 points a game, they're going to win a lot of games. And we saw what happened as the season went on, because there's, even the position we were talking about, we're looking at a playoff spot possibly. What if we were 7-6 or 6-6? what is it? 6-7 even. 7-6. How
Mhm.
different would it be? I don't. A lot of this stuff that was talked about over the last couple of weeks wouldn't even have come up. But you never know, man. There's always that media,
Yeah.
coast bias, as I like to call it. This is a gentleman I just met here on Twitter. We were talking on Twitter. Not sure how to say his name. Sriram. I'll just leave it as Sriram for the moment. Maybe you could spell it out.
Sriram Parthasarathi. Sriram Parthasarathi. Thanks for joining us, man. Great to
He's got
see you.
some good points. Actually sent an email once. I asked him again to show, and he sent an email to us today. So.
Oh, okay. I forgot to check my email after you said that to me.
No big. There we go. Sri Ram.
You are correct. We did get your emails.
Ram
I'll look at that later. Thank you.
And he's a Chicago guy too. That's another thing. But as far as the defense, it's been on the up for weeks. Offense, different story. Hopefully, what we've done will stay the same. I actually got the Bears. I think they're going to win by like 12 freaking points this game.
Wow.
There's too many aspects to get into with Cleveland's team. I don't know if we want to still. We didn't even finish talking about Yannick, but we have some talent on this team even without Yannick. So we'll be able to get a good idea of what that talent's capable of this weekend. They bring Dom Robinson off the practice squad, so now there's a roster spot that we have too. So there's more options. I believe Lewis is still out there. Remember him? Everybody's crying when he got released.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell Lewis. So options and information, man. Make the decision that's best for this team, man. That's what I love about Foles. He looks at everything.
CJ, you seem to be coming in better now. I can just tell by your just popping back in. It seems like you have a better connection.
Yeah.
I guess so. Better location, I guess.
There you go.
I would love for you to finish what you were saying because you were onto something there with the Yannick injury. Like you're next guy up, right?
So really what I was saying was that's really what it was. That's really what it is. You really have to go. I mean, especially in that position, next man up is always going to be in play. What happened to the guy they picked up that they waited like 6 weeks for? The Khalid guy. He was on the practice squad for a while. I don't know if they kept him on the practice squad.
He still is.
Yeah, that guy. Okay. So there you go. I'm eager to see him. I think they wanted to see him, and they didn't get a chance to see as much as they'd like. So I want to see what he can do.
Well, I think the real issue becomes that you're going to see Dominic Robinson get active. I mean, he's been on the active roster, but he's been voluntary scratched by the coaches every week. So now they're going to actually have him, I'm sure, play part of the 46-man lineup. And that Kareem guy, I'm sure he'll get activated to the active roster, but we probably still won't see him because we'll be seeing Dominic Robinson instead. To Foster's point, or no, it's your point. I'm sorry, CJ. I think your point. When Yannick has been there, he really hasn't done much. I mean, he seemed like he stepped up a little bit. I mean, at the beginning of the year, he was like a blaze. Wasn't quite get there, but he was active. Then he kind of like hit a lull. Then when Sweat came on the team, seemed like he started picking it up a little bit more again. So I think Walker will be the biggest benefactor of Yannick being gone. I think Walker in the next 4 games, I predict him to probably get 3 sacks.
Putting
Really?
pressure on the man, huge.
Huh?
Putting some pressure on the man.
Yeah, I think in the next 4 games, he's going to get 3 sacks because he's going to get more playing time. He's going to get more playing time. and therefore, they're going to double team Sweat and it's going to leave Walker open. And then with the emergence of Dexter, I think Dexter going to, draw the attention of others. So he's going to be left one-on-one, and he's going to take advantage of it. Especially, I expect him to get probably a sack and a half this week against Cleveland's backup tackles.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's a positive for us.
Guys, look at what we're doing here. Like in chat here, we have a Packers fan and a Lions fan hanging out with us tonight. I want to give you all congratulations.
Absolutely, man.
Everyone doing their job here on this channel to be the kind of show that we want to be, where we can, talk and converse and have fun with additional NFC teams, NFC North teams, even though there are rivals. And I mean, some of the shit I've said about the Packers in my life, I tell you what, Steve, you'd be ashamed of me, but you are a good guy. And we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight for Sports Talk Network. His name is Steve. And of course, New Breed 313, which is also a Steve.
Yep. Steve.
Everyone's Steve's.
Well, let me take a moment to acknowledge the chat.
Please do.
In the chat, we have Jason UK. Jason UK, I just want to say I did notice your dance on your show the other day. I noticed it, and I was like, man, Shorty has truly rubbed off on you, brother. I mean, I want to get help for you. That's all I want to say. I want to get help for you. But we also have Mark Kazak. Mark Kazak, you have always been there for us, man. I appreciate you. We have Mr. Shorty, of course, CB Sickles. We have Jeremy Munoz. We have, like you mentioned, the New Breed 313 Sports. We have Foster Covers. That's Santa Claus in disguise, by the way. And we also have the name that you guys said, Shiram, I think his name is. Shiram. Yeah, Shiram.
Sriram. Yeah.
It's on there.
And we have, I think I named everyone. If I missed
Talk Networks.
Yes, Sports Talk Network. Yes. So thank you guys for joining us in the chat.
Appreciate you all for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you. I have just one question. Where the hell is Cliff Victoria?
Yeah.
Should I call him to make sure he's okay?
And Doug Van Dorn.
And DVD, yeah.
It's Shri Ram.
Shri Ram.
Ram.
Thank you for that pronunciation. Shri Ram. Appreciate that.
Shri Ram.
You got to make sure you get it down because he's going to be on the show.
Yeah.
With a nickname by then.
What a roller coaster ride of a team this has been, right, guys?
Absolutely, man. Take us through it, CJ, if you can. But the first 4 weeks, the middle.
No, wait. Take us back from last year. I mean,
you can do that too, man. Jeez. Yeah. Could have won 7 more games.
3-13. 3-13. No hope. I mean, no real hope. The coaching staff seemed like they were trash. Now we got a little. I mean, again, it goes. In all honesty, it's really the progression of Poles. We're really watching the progression of Poles as he gathers pieces for his team. This season ended up being about Poles when it should have been about Fields. You ended up seeing him deciding, okay, he's taking a definitive stance on the defense. You seeing him finding guys like Billings that he's going to bank on, that he's going to progress with. You see that, he's building the back half of the defense, which is what you're going to need in this defense or in this era of defense. You're going to need 4 or 5 guys like they have. I'm very, very, very excited about the back half of the defense. I'm excited to see them replace Eddie Jackson, unfortunately. Then as you go to what is going on, again, the maturation of really Poles and Eberflus, we're seeing what Eberflus can do with the monochrome of talent. He didn't have the best in Indianapolis. He's getting good, not the best, but he's getting good talent and we're looking at top 10, top 15 defense now at this point of the season. So, that's all you can really ask for. And so the hope or the goal is just to continue progression and hopefully just an inch of progression from Getsy and Fields. They might win a few more games. I think that's really what you're going to have is just a few more games of is Getsy progressing and how's the defense doing?
Do you think it's possible that we can win this out?
I don't care. But the trap game is in Atlanta. The trap game is in Atlanta.
True.
I'm setting my trap game in Atlanta.
I was worried about that game too myself.
So
that's a team that I'm
up like at the beginning of the season, CJ, when we did this when we went through the schedule. It's just something, man, that can happen so easily. It often does, and that would definitely be one of the teams for the Bears to do it. Against. Hopefully not.
But they're also a warm weather team coming up to Chicago, a dome warm weather team. That goes to say a lot. I'm in Atlanta. I don't like to step outside when it's 35 degrees right now. Much less going into the 20s. So sorry, go ahead, CJ.
No, I was just gonna say I think he's gonna be auditioning. I think he's gonna be, I think there's gonna be some puff of the chest. That's his home, that's his hometown team, so to speak. So, you expect him to put on a good show. Obviously there's the rumors about him possibly, being, shipped there or being a good fit for him there. So I think he's going to put on a good show regardless. But yeah, I think that's a team that everybody's kind of got their eyeball on as a place that the Bears could possibly send him to.
Oh, in a trade, you're saying?
Correct.
So we haven't even gotten into that. What are your thoughts on that? If they end up with the first pick, and let's just say they win, they lose one more game going out, and they get the first pick from the Panthers.
You might want to save that. That is a big
for later.
That's a big statement. I've got time. Yeah, I've got time for that. I'm in the minority of draft one. The real question that I have is Caleb Williams better than CJ Stroud?
I have pondered the same. I've pontificated the same question, CJ.
And so,
PJ looking for his bazooka.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. What do you mean bazooka? I'm looking for my atom bomb. I'm ready to blow this whole thing up. Talking about what? Jeez.
Slow down there, man.
Come on, man. Let me just say for the record, I want everybody to be perfectly clear where I stand.
Oh, we know.
If we trade Fields, I would be heartbroken. Period.
What if Caleb Williams won league MVP as a rookie and took us to the playoffs?
I would be heartbroken upon the trade. So before he can become MVP, Fields would have to get traded first, right? So as soon as that trade happens, I'm now right there heartbroken. It's because of the mere fact of the hope. Now, I took the time to look up Steve Young the other day. First 2 years of being a pro, he was in USFL. Third year as a pro, he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and his record was 3-16. He later became a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. But I didn't stop there. I went to Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's first 3 years in the league. I think his record was like 15-25 or something along those lines. He later became a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. After his first 3 years kind of sucked. Matthew Stafford, he's no Hall of Famer, but his first 3 years wasn't very productive either. So while we're trying to get rid of Fields and talk, down talk Fields a lot, I look at it like I go back to J2K. I mean, Jason UK. He said it best. Fields is steadily improving, and to give up on him now, while he's still improving, you're going to have a regression with whatever rookie quarterback you go with, because they're going to have time to learn and all these other things. So why are we, as a collective, trying to? I understand the first pick and the glamour of we got the first overall pick, we got this new shiny new toy, but yet we're going to have some regression. Why not keep with what we got going already, build around him to where even if Fields isn't great, if you build a good enough team around him, Trent Dilfer, what's the guy we've already played this weekend, Flacco, they had great teams around them, and them as mediocre quarterbacks won a Super Bowl. We can then do the same thing if we build up a team around him. But if we forego getting these draft picks that we could acquire and go with a quarterback to be our savior, we may have a Matthew Stafford in Detroit situation to where later on you're trading away anyway. So why not just build around the guy you got, because he is showing improvement. End of my rant.
Yeah, everybody's got their take, Pete.
I got to agree with PJ on this one.
I'm with you on that. As far as I can see, CJ, we spent all this time building this team up, and this is just, it doesn't matter because Poles is going to trade that pick away anyways for prospects, man. That's what he's going to do because that's what the guy does. That's my thought on it anyways. But I started talking about this even 3 weeks ago. I'm like, man, what if Flusa sticks around for next season? Because people were getting pissed when I was saying it. And now this week, everybody's going, man, if this offense plays better, we might be stuck with them. Well, it could be. We don't know. Pretty much he's the scapegoat for everything that's going on offensively, at least we've been talking about most of the season, which I agree with. But you don't know what's going to happen in the next 4 weeks here. And here, would you guys take a top 10 quarterback and be able to just put him on the Bears and take out Fields? Yes or no?
For me, the season has not played out yet.
So yes or no? If you had a top 10 quarterback right now, wouldn't that be cool on the Bears? Yes or no?
Yes.
PJ.
Yeah.
If we had a top 10 quarterback right now on the Bears, would that be cool? Yes or no?
What do you mean by a top 10?
Top 10 ranked quarterback on the Bears right now. Would that be cool? Yes or no?
Sure.
Walt?
Yes.
Well, Foster, cool is subjective. Yeah. So first
would it be okay? Would it be better if we had a top 10 quarterback on the Bears today? Yes or no?
We already have one. I mean, Justin Fields went another 11. But
that was my point. Fields was number 10 last week ranked. So we have one. And then you break down all the numbers. He's actually gained more yards. Who was it? Hurts and somebody else. He's got more offensive yards than those guys in the same amount of games by like 200 or 300. And that's combined yards. Don't get me wrong, but the numbers bear it out, man. The best thing to do for the Bears is to trade back and bring in more parts. Because if there is a problem with the quarterback next year, okay, let's find a guy and plug him in, man. That's the way a lot of the other teams are building anyways. They're building up the offensive line, the defensive line, and getting the tight ends. And then finding that quarterback. Look at the 49ers. So
exactly. Look at Brock Purdy.
Fields is the guy, man. Well, Purdy was ranked 1 last week, and Fields was 10.
No, the point I'm making, they got Purdy over the last pick. So if Fields is indeed truly the problem after we build up this team, use Mr. Irrelevant and get our Brock Purdy.
Pick and plug a guy in at that point. But we're not going to have to do that. We got to stay the course and be diligent and be patient. This is all just my opinion. I know you guys, some of you guys agree with some of it, but
Wait,
That's man.
you just said get our Brock Purdy where? Like in Mr. Irrelevant next year?
He's
What else? What
making
I
a
mean
point.
is,
There's a guy.
if we build this team up and we prove that okay, we can't get over this hump with Fields, at that time, get your quarterback, be it the first rounder, be it the seventh, whatever, get your quarterback in. But instead, build your team up first.
Yeah, but
DJ, you're missing the point. If this is the draft to get your quarterback and you fuck this up, and then you go, let's just go one more year with Justin, and then boom, Caleb Williams gets drafted by whoever and is, next explosive.
Last year was the draft to get the quarterback. It was C.J. Stroud. We fucked it up.
No.
But really what PJ's saying, because he's saying the same thing I am, is we're not going to need a quarterback because Fields is going to be the guy.
I hope you guys are right, is the point.
So, let me put it
out on Justin Fields. I don't want to fuck this up. This is a critical moment in our history.
Well, let me put it this way. Andrew Luck, how many Super Bowls he got?
None.
When Matthew Stafford was in Detroit, how many Super Bowls did he get? So the point I'm making is, well, you can have a great quarterback. That doesn't guarantee you a Super Bowl. But if you get a good enough team, you can still win a Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback if Justin Fields proved to be just a mediocre quarterback.
But what if you're looking at the guy that you passed on becoming like the NFC
Andrew Luck?
Doesn't matter how good the quarterback is unless you have a great team around him to make them a championship team. End of story.
Andrew Luck. He was by far the best quarterback prospect coming out in a generation, for real. When we talk about these generation quarterbacks, Andrew Luck was truly that generational quarterback. He never won a Super Bowl. He didn't have the team around him. That's what I'm saying. Even if we miss by passing up this generational quarterback, if that's the case, we still going to have a good team, but we still can win the Super Bowl. Because that generational quarterback in Andrew Luck, he did not win being that generational quarterback. As a matter of fact, John Elway, he was a generational quarterback. He didn't win until they decided to have a team around him. Dan Marino, probably the best quarterback I've ever seen, never won a Super Bowl. So you can have these great quarterbacks. If you don't have a team around them, you're not going to win. So that's what I'm saying. Build this team up, then we go from there. If Justin Fields ain't the guy, we can find another quarterback. But you ain't going to have all this lot of picks that you can get in order to build this team up.
I got to say one other thing, too.
End of rant.
Go watch every offensive play that Caleb Williams has had this year, and you'll see that Justin Fields is a much better quarterback. Much better. Sorry,
CJ. I want your rebuttal.
Go look at the film.
What's your rebuttal, CJ?
I really am not. I'm not in disagreement. The only thing that I say is you don't look the gift horse in the mouth. If you get the one, and he's a generational quarterback, then you take him and you do what the Packers have done, what the Chiefs have done, what other good teams have done, and you make him sit and watch how the game's supposed to be played. You can build the rest of the team with the rest of the picks. But if you're going to take the generational quarterback, if you're going to get a generational quarterback, then you get the generational quarterback. You can do what you want with the talent, a la Brady versus Garoppolo. You can do what you want with Hurts versus Wentz. You can do what you want with RG3 versus Kirk Cousins. You can re-up once you trade them. You can always read up when you trade that quarterback, whichever quarterback you choose to trade. But you have to be in the position to have them. And I think that's what's important, is to have the piece. Caleb Williams is still a chess piece. regardless on if he's the one ticket or the piece you take after you trade him. Justin Fields is still a trade ticket, but it just depends on how much you're gonna get back for him. But I still believe if you look the gift horse in the mouth and he's right there, you snatch him because he's talent just like any other talent. And then you trade back with 5 or 4 or 7 or whatever. Or then, make somebody pay through the nose because you already have the guy. Don't trade for the chance to draft the guy. No. Make people pay through the nose because you have the guy. That's what the key is.
One question, and I'm gonna let you go back with your statement. Just one question. Do you believe if you trade the first pick before you draft it, you can get three first round draft choices? But if you actually draft Caleb, have him sit a year, and then try to trade him, I guarantee you won't get 3 draft picks. What do you think? That's my only question.
That puts me in the mystery box question. That puts me in the mystery box. I've got a Justin Fields and I've got a Caleb Williams. I know what I've got in Justin Fields. No one knows what I've got in Caleb Williams. So at that point, it's still 3 first round picks because no one has seen him.
I guarantee you won't get it.
Everyone knows it's Justin. That's fair. That is fine. I've still got the lottery ticket.
True.
At the end of the day, I've got 2 lottery tickets. I've still got 2 lottery tickets that I can pawn off at the end of the day. So I may not get 3 now. I may not get 3 today. That's fair. I've still got 2 birds in the hand. I got 1 bird in the hand already. And I'm going to get 2 birds in the hand if I draft Caleb. I've already got 2 birds in the hand. If I can get 3 birds if I trade first, or get 2 birds if I hold on to them, I'm still going to end up with, I'm going to end up with 3 birds instead of 4. Fine, I'll take it. I'll take it if I can keep both tickets. I want both tickets. I don't care about.
But you're running the risk. You're running the risk of you're running the risk to where you're not going to fully build the team, because if you get these possible 3 first draft choices, so you're going to miss out on that edge rusher. You're going to miss out on that number 1 receiver. You're going to miss out on these guys because you're going with Caleb Williams just to hold on to him. And then if Fields, in your scenario, balls out next year, now you want to try to trade Caleb. Guess what? Next year comes, the team's going to be like, hey, there's a new generational quarterback that's coming out. We're going to go with that guy as opposed to Caleb, because if Caleb was really the guy, the Bears would have played him instead of sitting him. So you don't get those 3 first round draft picks. You might get 1. More likely you probably get a 2nd and a 3rd. So therefore, we didn't build up the team. We held on to this asset. We didn't really further ourselves. That's my argument.
They're both. You guys both got points. I mean, Pete, you know where I stand.
But the first round picks are not going to be in the same draft.
If you depends on how you go about doing
it. Going to be in the same draft.
Let's say
every year.
Let's say Arizona want to sit up there and say, you know what? I'm not happy with Kyler Murray. I want Caleb Williams. Chicago, I can give you my 3rd and my 16th pick before I can get your number 1. You think I'm going to pass that up? Oh, let me get that, and plus a 2nd. We in business. That can totally happen. Totally happen.
Hey man, polls could run this down the line and get that first round pick for 2026. What's his name's grandson? Manning, Arch Manning. I'm just my point is this, CJ, is every year I hear the same thing. Bryce Young, generational talent. Caleb Williams, generational talent. There's a guy there that we can get when we do need him. As for right now, I'm more to building the team, man. Because I think Fields is the guy. I do. I've looked at it all. from the damn Pittsburgh game, his rookie season. That's when I said that's the guy. I said it, you know. And then I start looking at it again. Am I wrong? Is he slow? What's going on? Was there a problem? Something this? And then I'm like, well, there's too much going into his head. There's too much coaching. They're over coaching if you can. I'm not even saying that right, but there's too many problems up here for him is what I'm thinking. And I said this in a tweet a couple times. I'm like, I think one of the best things that happened was Justin Fields, and you brought it up to your point, CJ. He had to sit there for 4 weeks and watch. And I think that helped his game.
Agreed.
Some of the crap got out of his head. He got to see something that maybe he wasn't quite aware of, or one of those aha moments that everybody's had. And it's just a matter of really just building chemistry. Because what? These guys have been playing together for 3 weeks now, the entire offensive unit. I think that's it. For all of them together. I'm talking offensive line, the same tight ends, the same wide receivers, the same quarterback. Even with the little merry-go-round in the running back room, that wasn't quite as bad because that's a rotational thing where those guys are all going to see the field, so they're going to play with them all at one time or another. But this team, and it goes from the coaching staff too. I said this. I'm like, man, this team is, you got a second-year coach, you got a second-year offensive coordinator. Most of these players are second, third, and fourth-year guys. So instead of taking any of it apart, if it's progressing as we end out the season, there's a scenario where nobody's going anywhere. We're just going to add more talent and another couple of coaches, maybe, defensive coordinator. Maybe somebody else needs to go. I don't know. I'm not sitting in the office, but that's a scenario that could happen. And nobody's been saying nothing about it. I've been talking about it for 3-4 weeks. And now this last week, man, it's all over the place. What I just said, it's everywhere. And not just, little guys, it's coming out in big media. I'm like, whoa, just pay attention to what's going on in front of your eyes. And it's not, CJ, man, you make tons of valid points. Anybody that's talking Caleb Williams would eat up on every point you made because it's a decent argument for the fact. Pete, you got a great argument too. And I stand, that is my argument. The shit you said is my argument for the most part. I could add a couple things, but I ain't gonna, man. I just think that we can win this game, and if a couple things happen within the NFL, like Tampa Bay, I think they can beat the Buccaneers. The Bengals, it doesn't even matter. The teams that are involved, we just got to take one game and win the damn game.
If we all sit here 2 years from now,
on Monday morning, man,
2 years from now, if we're sitting here going, fuck, we didn't take Caleb Williams because we wanted to give Justin Fields one more year if they do hire a new head coach, and you would expect that new head coach to just want to start over with a new quarterback and align everything, correctly, other than the new GM, which we probably will not get. And I would not be for that. Poles has done a great job, in my opinion, but you get a new head coach. He wants Caleb Williams. You give it to him. He does it. You make it happen, because you can't sit here and 2 years from now. And what if we did pass on that?
Then we trade up and we draft Arch Manning.
Well,
okay, guys. A couple
Arch
things.
Manning couldn't beat out
Get in here, Walt.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, shut up.
No, I wanted to go back to what CJ was saying. Now, in your logic stream there, you were saying to take Caleb Williams with the number one, and then if he doesn't pan out for whatever reason, you could trade him for 3 first-round picks. Is that correct?
Well, not saying that if he doesn't pan out, if you end up going with Justin, then you trade him. You're not panning out, but if you end up just saying Justin's our guy, but we still got Caleb Williams who hasn't played, he's not seen the field, he's just been watching.
So theoretically, this trade would happen after training camp, more than likely, maybe after the first season that you have him.
Sure.
Okay. There's one problem with that. As soon as Caleb Williams is drafted, his value is depreciated tenfold. So he might not even garner 1 first-round pick at that point. I mean, you got to remember, guys, like we have
said
the
that,
first round
though.
pick only because another team is bad. The Carolina Panthers are terrible, and we lucked into a trade where Ryan Poles made the right deal, got the right picks, and everything's falling into our lap pretty much. We have the number one pick here. We don't need a quarterback, and having the number one pick and taking a quarterback is not mutually exclusive to one another. You don't need to do that, because there's a lot of people saying, well, if you have the number one pick and Caleb Williams is available, you take him no matter what. Why? This team makes the playoffs. What are you saying to your coaching staff, the other players outside of the quarterback himself, that hey, we got to the playoffs, but you know what, you're going anyways. You would have to win 3 times as many games as you did last year. 3 times. Let that sink in for a second. It's just nuts. I mean, to what you were saying, Dan, there, if Caleb Williams, we draft him and he becomes the MVP and wins the Super Bowl in his first year, I have to tell you that I have to go because Peter Pan and the Easter Bunny are knocking at my door for tea. That's the kind of fantasy land we're
quarterback
living
has
in
never
right
won
now.
the Super Bowl, so that would be Peter Pan knocking at your door for
No, they're not knocking at your door, Walt. Maybe mine.
Really, you got to look at what you have here too. Like the highlight reel for Caleb Williams is really good, but it's a highlight reel. You got to go down.
But you have to go back. I did a bender this weekend comparing highlight reels in college, and they don't compare.
You don't compare highlight reels.
That's why you don't compare highlight reels.
But if you're going to compare highlight reels, you have to compare highlight reels.
No,
you don't compare highlight reels. That's the thing.
You compare every offensive play the guys ran for one season or something like that, or 6 games, whatever.
All right, fair enough. And I'm just
the bad, the ugly.
I'm putting up the argument for either or. I want to know what you guys think. For me, ultimately, the season is not over yet, so I'm not making any judgment on this. But I will say that what I've looked at, the bender that I won on this past weekend, it kept me up until 3:00 in the morning watching Caleb Williams highlights, does prove a point to like maybe you could make an argument for that. I see the argument for Justin Fields. We clearly have seen him come back from this injury and play better. We all have agreed on that. And that's why for me, it's like the next 4 games, let's see what happens. And I don't even know what to say because I don't want to piss people off. But my current opinion, especially you, PJ.
Say what you think.
I tried to hug you, PJ. I don't want to piss you off. I don't want to piss you off. It took a lot to give you a hug, my man.
Well.
Just one sit, I would have been done. Moving on.
And the way I was getting at is that you notice with Bears fans and Bears media, we're looking at a lot of quarterbacks throughout the league, and just the difference in the way they're treated between one another. Fields right now has to play perfect, and even then, I don't think that's good enough for some people.
Good point, Walt. Good point.
Swifty's saying PJ for Prez. PJ wants you as president of the United States.
Well, here's the other thing you guys got to keep in mind.
Nope.
It wasn't just after his injury that Fields started playing better. Denver game, as well as that Washington game, he played great. Mm-hmm. So this whole year, I've seen marked improvement for what Fields has been doing. And then after his injury, seemed like he's done even more. But I was impressed with the Washington and Denver games. Mm-hmm. So again,
especially to your point, when you compare last season with a lot of rushing stats to this season with a much better passing stats. Yeah, much better.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think he's improved. That's what I'm saying. I see an upward trajectory to where I'm not trying to give up on that. And then you put in the intangibles, the leadership, the hard working. These things all encompass a good quarterback. So I'm not trying. I don't know what you have in Caleb Williams or Drake May. I don't know what type of personality that they have. I don't know what type of work ethic they have. And if you to a man, if you was to talk to those players in that locker room, I bet every one of them would back Fields. when I hear other players from other teams talk about how they worried about Fields and Fields being that guy. So if other players are saying that, his teammate is backing him, I mean, you can't just disqualify that just for this shiny new toy. You got to look at, hey, maybe I got something here. Let me build up around him. Let me build up this offensive line. Let me build up this defensive line. Let me get him some more weapons to where we can have a second tight end who actually gets targets, as opposed to Tunyon, who only has 5 catches on the year. Give me a second tight end somewhere where he can actually be a playmaker. So you have these things built up around him to where, to your point, Shorty, if Caleb Williams be the guy to where he's a superstar somewhere else, you be a superstar somewhere else, but we got a team now that's going to be in the Super Bowl in spite of our quarterback, if our quarterback ain't the guy, because we have everybody else around him, and then we can go get a quarterback who, or just bring up Tyson Bagent if that be the case. I mean, because you don't need to have a superstar to be a superstar quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Because Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady up until maybe his 11th year. That's when he actually started controlling the games. Up until then, the defense was winning those Super Bowls for him. He wasn't.
There's also a case to be made for, let's just say Patrick Mahomes. Is he Bears proof? In other words, would he have been that good on the Bears had they drafted him instead of they just stayed at 3 and took Mahomes?
Now with this coaching staff, that's a part of it. Part of the coaching staff.
Is there a player that is generational enough that can overturn whatever the coaching staff is doing, and they make the team better because of just their greatness?
Aaron Rodgers.
What if we passed up on Williams and he became the next Aaron Rodgers?
And how many Super Bowls does Aaron Rodgers have?
You just said it yourself, though. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers?
I would rather have a great team. That's what I'm saying. I want a great team. Build up my great team, then I can win with whatever quarterback you give me. I'll win with Trent Dilfer. Give me a great team.
I got to agree with Mr. Mayhem here. He's always saying that the Bears drafting a quarterback in the first round would be a waste of a pick. Yeah, it definitely would be.
Absolutely.
I disagree
Right,
wholeheartedly. It's not you want we keep talking about talent. We keep talking about we need talent. Well, we still need talent at the one position that matters most. And obviously you can see during this season, you almost need 2. Because you lose one and automatically you got to go to a left. Jake Browning has been a great revelation for the Bengals, and all he's done is just chilled out and done nothing. We talk about having talent, and while I agree, when you have you depreciate greatly, your value depreciates greatly, but you still got value.
It's true, but then again, the value is nowhere near what it was.
Back position. Carson Wentz was a dud, and we all knew that Carson Wentz was but he garnered 2 first-round picks after winning the Super Bowl.
Carson Wentz?
After going to the Super Bowl, I won't say Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
That's because he was MVP,
when he got traded
MVP quality.
But he still had value after he won. He got to the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is, having talent at all positions is important, regardless on where we get the talent from. Yes, I understand completely that you don't want to quote unquote waste talent, but I don't think drafting a quarterback, a high value quarterback at that, is wasting talent or a waste of a pick. Every team always needs a quarterback. They don't always need a left tackle, or they don't always need a defensive end, but every team needs a quarterback. Then there's 32 quarterbacks. You mean to tell me that you wouldn't take a chance at a guy that college has, for almost 2 years, You wouldn't take your shot at the guy that college has ranked as the best guy for 2 years straight. That's
I'll
the
say
only
Didn't
this.
that's
college
my
say
only
Jaden Daniels was better than everyone this year? He technically won the Heisman.
that's
didn't
the
he?
lie. That's the lie. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. I like Jaden Daniels. He I hope he pans out to be a great quarterback prospect. But the
But here's
way
the thing, too. I mean, Caleb Williams wasn't even in contention. Number 5 was the quarterback out of Florida State. Yes, he won the Heisman last year, but this year, you're only as good as your last game. They always say,
I'm always any quarterback that wins the year before and coming back, I feel like they have an insurance policy and have been told to save their body because they know where they're going next. Like Jadeveon Clowney, I believe that he's those brakes have been pumped because he's a top five pick, hands down, and he's put on the brakes since whenever. Uh, I could be wrong. I'm probably being 90% facetious, but I can't believe he's had the gas turned on the entire season, especially with the talent that's around him.
Okay. Well, let's stay with that logic right there.
No,
say he
and
has
Mark,
turned
no,
off.
to answer your question, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
Let's say he has turned off the gas this year because of either
Say
it's
that again?
let's say he has turned off the gas this year. Either he's he knows he's going to the NFL, he doesn't want to waste his body, or whatever the reason is. He's done it. He's not playing at 100%. What makes you think he's not going to do it in the NFL for his own team? I don't want that in my team. If you're not giving 110% every game, no matter, even if you're down, in a 17-game season, you're 0-16, and the last game doesn't matter. Who gives a
That's
shit if you win or lose and you're playing like crap?
not to dismiss your point. We're talking about professional football here. We're not talking
life and
about.
character.
I'm not talking. Yeah, no, but I'm saying though, we're talking about a guy who's got millions of dollars on the line, and saving his body for an NFL draft and a professional career versus, playing a few games and making it to a bowl game. And he's already been to the mountaintop, the pinnacle last year with the Heisman. I'm not.
Isn't that the same guy
I can't
who
extrapolate that.
who talked about maybe not coming out this year? I mean, so risking his body for
That's
another
his
year
daddy.
in college?
I'm not that. I never heard him say that. I've heard his daddy say that, but I've never heard him specifically say that.
That's true, Siege. I mean, PJ. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is a bad quarterback. That's not the case. He looks pretty good, but he's just a smaller version of Justin Fields, which you already have. And who's to say his leadership quality is, even halfway to where Fields is right now? Knock Fields for holding the ball or taking a sack or whatever. He leads that team from hell or high water. I don't think Caleb Williams can do that. I mean, I have no problem with
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted you to finish. I apologize.
No, I know people were ragging on him for when he jumped into the stands, was crying with his mom and all that. Like it's fine to be emotional, but there's nothing wrong with that. But he hasn't shown me that he's a leader on the field. I've seen him in his Wendy's commercials, and he can definitely read a teleprompter. I know that about him. But
yeah, we've been on this for like an hour, man. Okay, 45 minutes at least. I was thinking we'd switch gears, man, start talking about this Cleveland game and some of the matchups.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Foster.
Like I said, the team as a team is growing together. Young coaching staff, young team. I like the progress I'm seeing here, especially the last 5-6 weeks. Cleveland's got some real problems, though, man. I got to see if I can find this list because they're without a bunch of key players this week, offensively and defensively. So, and I say this all the time, man. The Bears need to come out and they need to smack Flacco in the face and put some pressure on him immediately. Because you've seen what he's done the last 2 weeks with Cleveland. I don't know if anybody's paying attention to it. Last week he did real good. The week before he had some ups and downs, but he's been able to guide this offense to a couple winning games. And we need to get on that. A player too that everybody misses on this offense that nobody talks about. I just finally heard something about him today. Is their tight end Ngakoue, because that's like Flacco's security blanket. So we got to take the run game away. They've got some issues on that offensive line. Put some pressure on Flacco and make sure we cover Ngakoue up, because that guy is just he's one of my favorites actually as far as a tight end. If you ask me who I wanted as a tight end on the Bears with Komet, I would say give me Kittle or Ngakoue. Half the people around don't even know who he is. But go watch the guy play. He's good at everything on the field.
So what you're saying is that you love the Bears tight ends.
Yeah, absolutely, Dan. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, anyways, I mean, that's the key to stopping that offense, I believe. I think their big receiver, and I had a couple of these Cleveland guys on my fantasy team, and I liked the numbers I was getting out of them. But they're even their what's his name, man? He's
Cooper?
injured right now. I don't even know if he's going to play.
Oh.
The other thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because, and this is, I'm just sticking to the offense right here with Cleveland, is now Flacco's he's on the practice squad. They've been bringing him up every week, but there's talk. People have been asking all day, man, is Flacco starting for sure? Because we know the guy's a statue. He's 38 years old, man, and if he's sitting back there in the pocket with an offensive line anything near of what we've seen here the last year and a half, Flacco's going to be in an ambulance by the second quarter in that game. So there's some talk around that I'm not sure, that nobody's got a confirmation, and we probably won't even know till game time,
that they're going to sign him off the practice squad.
No, that and DTR starting the game, because there was talk of it earlier in the week, and I just dismissed it. But it has not come up in any of the press conferences for the Cleveland's head coach. So that's another question. And then I'll jump to the D real quick, and you guys tell me both sides of the ball what you think, because I think we can stop them offensively. The problem's going to be defensively. The defense is, I know it's ranked number one, but fortunately they're missing their best pass rusher, and there's 3 guys they're missing off of that defense. I got a list on Twitter.
It's a list of did not participate guys, but that doesn't mean they're not going to play this weekend.
I understand that, but 3 of those guys are on the injured reserve. They're not going to play the rest of the year. Go back and look at it. So, anyways, to straighten out this defense in our favor, man, we're going to need to run the ball. We're going to need to run the ball inside. We're going to need to do some quick passes, Speed. How about like a slant, a quick curl? I'm not going to say the guy's name. Maybe even a screen at the right timing, but also throw a damn deep ball 3 times each half. And I don't want to see it on like 3rd and 12. Do it on a 2nd and 5 or less. Sometimes somewhere where it's manageable, where that's the other thing we always talk about with Getsy, man, the offensive play calling, spacing. We don't understand why he calls certain plays when he does. I mean, so those are the things that the Bears need to grow on. But I don't know. How do you guys think our offense and deep? What do we need to do to win this game? What do we need to do? Anybody answer that question?
You mentioned it a lot. I think you're going to have to. I think what they really have to do is going to have to define the role for the run game, aka start Foreman, give Foreman lots of carries, and then let Herbert spell Foreman. Is what I mean. I think they're going to they should, in my opinion, as far as the offense goes, go ahead and just define the run game with Foreman. Let him pound, and then come with the juice if he's got some with Herbert. Maybe you can find some space for Mooney. I know he's getting frustrated. I know you can kind of see it. You can see it in the routes. You hope that you can find a rhythm with him as well. As far as defensive goes, as long as 95 is still out there, you got a problem, and I know he may not be at 100%, but I know he's gonna be a terror on one of those tackles. So I would probably that's where I'm at. A lot of the defensive backs are still decent. They still play as a unit in Cleveland, even though they've had the up and down offense with the quarterback play. They still have, the defense has still maintained that team, and I don't know if the Bears are going to put up a lot of points. To be completely honest with you, I think Jerome Ford doesn't break one.
What just happened there? It's like a major pause. Did what? You believe what?
Jerome Ford breaking one.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe as long as Jerome Ford doesn't take off for a long one, I think he'll be just fine. Yeah, it's gonna be a slog. This game is gonna be a slog. A lot of running, lot of long clock, a lot of running clock. So they're gonna get this one on TV and off TV as quickly as possible.
Okay. PJ, what are you eating over there?
I was chewing some gum.
Chewing some gum over there?
Yeah.
Looks like you're eating a gummy bear.
I do have a root beer float though.
Sure, you had that list up there. I don't know if I could see all of it, but so who's out for the rest of the season? Okanoru's out for the season. He's out for the season. So is Delphi. Where's the other guy? Grant Delpit. He's out for the season. There's like 4 of them, and these guys are starters, dude. So I know a bunch of them are going to play, but they're missing.
They're not even on this list because they're on IR. Yeah. This is just like the injury report of players that could play or not.
I'm just. This started last week. Players started dropping. I'm just going over Google, and it starts with last week. I don't even want it, man. There's so many. So a week ago, Browns injured reserve. Full list of who could return for the playoff play. So, I'm just saying. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've had 4 key players hit the injury list, which means they're out for 4 weeks. They might be back for the last game in the last 2 weeks, and I want to say it's 5, but I don't have that in front of me. I've got the names of 2 of them right here, and then it says that there's 2 more on the other article, but I didn't go into it. So, again, this is a time though that the Bears, being the weaker team, as I'll call them, can take advantage of this.
100%.
So, I brought up a bunch of points, and CJ, I like what you're saying too, man. Pound that ball. Get Foreman in there going, man. We can soften up that defense, some play fakes, some slants, some quick stuff on the passing game, and then we find that opportunity 2 or 3 times a half. I'd like to see a deep ball thrown. And crap, we've got the best deep ball passer in the league. There's another thing that's kind of the talk of that's kind of died down. Nobody's been saying anything about that because we haven't been doing enough of it. So I just think our offense really has a chance of taking advantage of the defense and vice versa. Our defense can step up. It sucks Ngakoue's gone, I think, because they might have just got some good chemistry going over there after the last 3 or 4 weeks. The same guys rotating together, playing in the same position, because that's been a problem with both lines for 2 years. Is who's lining up where, and who's an average or above player that's going to help us, and where are we lacking? It's just been a growth. It's been growth. These young guys that Foles have picked. I remember stuff coming out. Yeah, but Pickens is this. He's not going to be able to do that. And Dexter, he gets a little more praise than he deserves. But now we're starting to see And again, they're rookies. They played 13 games, man. So hopefully it's still on the up. And we take advantage of it and win this game. Something keeps telling me in my head the Bears are going to win by 12, man. And it's like 28-16. I swear to God. This shit's flashing in my head. It doesn't mean nothing, but it won't surprise me if they do.
Play.
What, Pete?
I didn't say anything. That wasn't me.
You guys ever have a dream about a game, about a play in a game, and it happens the next day? I have that happen all the time.
This is Dan only.
A couple of years ago, I had a dream about DHC picking off a ball to win the game.
Forgot it.
Get the fuck out of here, Foster. You're out of here. And woke up the next day. DHC won the game to pick off the interception to win the game. So I'm just wondering if that's ever happened to you. Not you, Foster.
I'm laughing because you had your dream and it happened. That's one. That's one. There's always a first. There's always a first for everything, man. We know that.
True.
You know, my biggest fear is with the way Getsy chooses to run fields, like on power or up the middle. He takes too many hits that way. I'm of the belief he either runs when he's scrambling or outside run only. Other than that, because a couple of those hits in that Detroit game, like I told you guys earlier, in the other show, I was afraid he was going to be out for the game. I mean, especially when that number 55 hit him when he went up to call himself going up the middle. I'm like, he almost got decapitated. So Getsy need to do a better job of say, hey, if I'm going to run this guy, I'm going to only run him on certain plays and only on certain plays because, yeah, we need him for the long haul because I seen someone in this chat earlier say that we can count on Fields missing 4 to 6 games a year. Yeah, you run plays like that, yeah, you will be having him missing some games. I'm of the belief design runs, I would have Fields maybe run no more on design runs about 4 or 5 times a game on design runs. The other, like I said, the other ones, the pocket breakdown, you take off, go for it. But design runs, no sir, because I like Fields so much. I want him to be that guy, and I want him to be.
Wait. Replace the word "like" with "love." Go ahead, finish. You want to have his babies?
No, I have a true confession. You guys heard it here first. I am Justin Fields' father.
This can't be good, man. It can't be good. Show will be off the air next week just for that. DJ, your lawsuit is on the way. We're done.
We could have easily guessed it, PJ.
It was good seeing you, Siege. I don't know if we'll ever be able to do the show again after that comment, but we can come on after the season's over and see where we're at right after the draft.
Well, you know, I just thought I thought I'd let you guys know first that I am.
Yeah, like I said, we knew. It's been obvious for a while.
rough night.
For those of you who just listening, I am joking. For those of you who can't pick that, I'm not his father. No.
He just
or am I?
By the way, do you guys remember that scene
TJ,
from
you find your condom too?
I want to ask you guys. This is a Mandela effect theory. I want to ask you guys if you remember that scene from Star Wars as being, does Darth Vader say, "Luke, I am your father," or does he say, "No, I am your father"? Go.
I just saw it the other day.
Fuck you, Siri. I didn't say ask Siri. My phone's talking to me. Get out of here.
What did it say?
Well, let me look that up right now. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about, bitch? I didn't ask you. I asked you.
Dude, that was like 40, 50 years ago when I saw the damn thing. And
does he say,
Luke,
I am your father, or does he say, no, I am your father?
I'm guessing.
I think it says Luke.
You would be part
of the
confession.
I've never seen it.
Nice, CJ.
2 more firsts.
Nice.
PJ is Field's father, and CJ's never seen Star Wars.
And Zach says, "Fuck you, fuck Star Wars." Zach Sullivan. So, Foster, what do you think? Luke, I am your father, or does he say, "No, I am your father"?
Well, I said it. I said, Luke, I am your father.
You're both wrong. He says, "No, I am your father."
Well, I know they was in the middle of a conversation, so that's what made me hesitate to say. Because if I'm already talking to you like now, I wouldn't stop and say, "Shorty." So to say, "Luke, I am your father" in the middle of a conversation, that wouldn't jive well. Because like I said, Luke was hanging on this thing, and Darth Vader's standing there, so they're talking, and it'll be hard for him to announce, "Luke, I am your father," when I'm already talking to you.
I agree, but
I should have pulled PJ like 7 seconds ago, man.
That's why you guys are all now a part of the Mandela effect. Because I remember it the same way. Luke, because why would he say, "No, I am your father"? They weren't talking about him being his father. He was hanging on that thing, and he was like, somebody was like, "No, I am your father."
So he says, "No, I am your father."
Correct.
Because there was a comedy skit, if I remember correctly, that actually said, "Luke, I am your father," imitating Darth Vader. That's where I think that came from. It was a comedy skit that said that.
Could be.
Yeah, PJ, twist it however you want, man.
Hey,
you heard it wrong.
I'm just saying.
Have you ever heard of the Mandela effect, CJ?
I have.
Yeah. Just like what was it? Back in the day, gosh. Oh, I know of one, and I can't think of it right now.
Berenstain Bears?
No, it was a different show. It'll come to me, but yeah, I there is one though. There's one on Nickelodeon that got me for a while that I was not prepared for, but I can't recall offhand.
Cause there's a movie it's a genie movie done by Shaq. It's called Kazam. And then like 2 years before that, there was a genie movie done by
Sinbad
called Shazam.
But Shazam's, I mean, Sinbad said he never did that movie.
He did say he never did that movie. But people have they've shown you on YouTube the actual VHS, and they put it in and they play it.
Yep.
It's a real movie. So what in the fuck is going on with that? That falls into the Mandela effect.
Well, that's just, creative editing. I mean, whether or not a person want to sit there and, I mean, because I was watching that on YouTube the other day. They showed that, they showed a skit of Sinbad dressed up in a genie outfit being Shazam. So, but the thing is, like I said, it was on Def Comedy Jam. I don't know if you guys ever remember watching that.
Love that.
There was a guy who did a skit on there talking about Star Wars, and he said, "Luke, I am your father." That's where that comes from.
Okay.
So as opposed to the real thing being, "No, I am your father." That's why it's assumed that he says Luke.
Sure, there's all sorts of innuendos like that happen over the course of time that change the way that we think about things, right?
Yes, indeed.
What's interesting about that Shazam movie, though, is there are like 5 instances of 5 different Mandela effects that they show in the movie, which is really weird. In one clip, it was one of the Mandela effects is that the Monopoly guy, everyone remembers him as having a spectacle on his eye.
Right.
And if you look at the Monopoly guy now, there's no spectacle. But in that movie, they showed the Monopoly game, and you can see the spectacle on the guy's eye. And then later on, or in the same scene, they show a book that has the Berenstain Bears. Berenstain spelled Stein. When now if you look it up, it's Stain, Stain. And then they pan into like a scene with the 2 kids, and in the background, there's a newspaper on the ground that says Nelson Mandela dies in prison in 1968. And that's where the Mandela effect came from, was because a lot of people, including my mother and myself, remember him dying in prison in the 60s, but he really got out in the 80s and lived, into his 80s. So
right.
that it's crazy that movie that Sinbad himself admits that never happened. You can see all these scenes and these different Mandela effects in the movie
and I think that's the thing that people fail to take into account, that advertisers and companies change certain logos on their things that they do.
Correct.
Because you guys remember the syrup Aunt Jemima?
Yes.
She used to have a scarf on her head.
That's part of the Mandela effect. Yes.
Yeah, she used to have a scarf on her head when I was a kid.
Yes.
Then as I got older, she now have her hair pressed or curled, something like that, to where it's like, wait a minute. Because when I first seen that, I'm like, wait a minute. Because we used to make jokes.
Seen that.
You've never seen that?
Really?
Because
so
how
do you remember Aunt Jemima then? With the scarf, right?
Yeah, a red scarf. As a matter, it was a red scarf because we used to tell jokes.
I've seen Aunt Jemima with the scarf on her head.
Yes.
Yeah, her hair is pressed now.
Look it up right now. It doesn't exist.
It's no longer there. That's what I'm saying. So
I get that some of it might have been rewriting history to not, to change narrative. Steen might come off as Jewish and but there's other ones like Fruit Loops. Oh, maybe that could come off as like anti-Semitic or whatever, as far as
my neighbor.
Yeah. Fruit. How do you remember Fruit Loops being spelled? F-R-O-O-T or F-R-U-I-T?
F-R-O-O-T.
Yep, but no, it's spelled fruit.
Yeah. Now it is.
Yeah.
Because they used to have the loops as the two O's for Fruit Loops.
That was the point of it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, we're all part of the Mandela effect.
Zach says there's no more Aunt Jemima. What?
There's not. It's
there
something milled or something.
Pearl Mill Company.
Yep, it's absolutely completely gone.
Oh God, really?
Wow.
Did you guys?
So is Uncle Ben.
Did you guys find that expensive?
I just bought some Uncle Ben's rice.
They got Uncle Ben's. Uncle Ben's is still around.
Yeah,
but
come on now.
Is Uncle Ben on the picture still?
What's up?
I heard Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima had a relationship.
I want to know, Pete. I want to know what they spawned.
Dang, what was it?
Fruit Loops.
No, not Fruit. It was baby something. I forgot what it was. It was a joke growing up. Though. It was
sure, man. That's what I think of that crap.
He said, "Is Uncle Benzino now? Stop it!
Uncle Benzino?
Yeah, stop it."
It's just called Ben's Rice now, PJ.
Ben's Rice. Okay, it's no longer Uncle Ben's. Okay,
Uncle Benzino.
And Shorty, the Shazam movie you're talking about, I think it's been debunked a couple times over. And that video cassette that everyone keeps posting is a fan-made cassette online. They just took the Kazam movie that Shaq did and
No, my young friend. I could agree why you would think that, but I've seen the fucking movie with my own eyes. I remember.
I was live in '94 when supposedly this movie came out. So
you were like 3, though.
No, 94. My sister was 6 in 93. Or I was 6 in 93, so I was 7.
Okay, so therefore you had I was, what was that? And that was like the mid 90s. I remember watching Shazam, and then like 2 years later, Kazam came out, and we were all like, why the fuck are they remaking this with Shaq?
I guess everyone else is wrong then.
I actually remember seeing parts of it too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole movie was based on like
I watched it with my kids. Man.
The kids' parents were like getting divorced or something, and they were using the genie to try to get their parents back together. That was the basis of the movie. So what is weird?
Hasn't the actual actor Sinbad said it didn't exist?
That's what we said. That's what makes it even more weird.
That is weird.
We can remember it.
So insanely crazy.
So if the actor is saying that the person actually playing the movie is saying it never happened, unless he's being paid off by some tyrannical shadow government, I mean,
You'd be surprised.
But if we all have memories of the movie, I just explained the movie to you. How can that be false?
you can
Fuck the
implant
movie.
false
Are we done
memories
talking
into people.
football?
It's yeah. I can't back up even why we're talking about this shit. But you could implant memories into people's brains. They've done books. It's out there. It's science.
Sure,
You don't
fair
believe me?
enough.
Look it up.
Moving on, back to Bears talk.
Yeah,
But
They
for
should
all of us
implant
to have the
better-
same
They
memory,
should implant better memories in my fucking brain, damn it.
Yeah, thank you. What were you going to say, PJ?
I said for us all to have the same memory. I could understand one person having false memories, but for us all, I mean, as a matter of fact, when I was just watching it on YouTube the other day, they showed a scene from the movie
Right.
of him being dressed up
Yes.
as Sinbad. He was Sinbad being dressed up as a genie. So I seen the movie.
And they showed a picture of the Loch Ness monster too, but it doesn't make it real.
Oh, we're talking about movies.
You're out of here, Walt.
I like him.
Mark Kazak has a question. I think we need to answer it.
When did BCP become Siskel and Ebert?
I figure if
Mark.
Aldo and Dan Aguirre could talk about movies for a half an hour, we can talk about a movie for about 15 minutes.
I agree, yes.
We're not Dan and Aldo.
I know.
If we're going to talk about anything, damn it, it's going to be food, remember?
Yes, exactly. Well, Fruit Loops is food. That's part of the Mandela effect. Thanks, Zach. No, Zach, they're saying that it's always been spelled Fruit loops.
No, it wasn't.
And it is that currently, but if you go back in time to the 80s when you were eating Fruit Loops, it was FROOTLOOPS. Because of
Yep.
Like you said, the loops.
Yep. That's what it was.
It's here's my theory. It's the Hadron Colliders. It's not just one. There's like 20 of them. There's more than one. They're slamming protons and neutrons and all kinds of particles together to create big bangs. They're making multiple universes in this world that we live in. And since then, that's what's caused the again, CJ, you may not know this, but I love the pontificates. That's just my pontification of this. It's the Hadron Colliders that are causing this Mandela effect. Let's start a petition to get rid of the Hadron Colliders.
What you talking about, Chuck?
I'm not talking.
What you talking about, Willie?
Let's get back to the Bears.
Man.
So, what are our thoughts as far as our winning percentage for this week?
Winning percentage?
I think we have a good percentage.
It's either going to be 0 or 1,000.
Doing 75% chance of a win this week.
Oh, okay, that.
I will say this. Well, let me point out. I just can't say a winning percentage without stating my position. My position is we must protect Fields, being two tight ends, tight end, fullback. So we need to have something, not that empty sets. If we go empty sets, we're going to get blown out. If we protect him,
about that. He's not going to do that. We've been talking about that for 3 months.
We're talking about Getsy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Getsy's not going to go two tight end under center. He's just not going to do it.
Well, he did it at times last week against Detroit. That's what I'm saying. So there's a possibility. That's what I'm saying. Depends on which way he want to go. If he's smart enough to follow up like he did with Detroit last week, because Detroit was rushing 5 people a lot last week. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but yeah, they was rushing 5 people a lot. So if we have that 2 tight end sets or tight end and a fullback or a running back, there we can have enough protection and then be able to get the ball, and I think we'll win. But if we go with more empty sets, I think we're going to set ourselves up for failure.
Hopefully we don't end up with a Vikings play call. No,
That's
all,
what
all horizontal throws, no down the field throws. That is the nightmare
Do we
Freeze up.
you guys still there? Okay, do we lose him?
Uh,
Yeah,
No,
he
he's
throws
good.
up, man.
saw
Okay.
some, we saw growth today. We saw get take some
Yeah, your connection is really bad there,
responsibility on that
CJ.
4th and 1 play call.
I feel like I'm
I'm
in the
laughing.
Twilight
I'm
Zone.
laughing at
Hello?
Raging Oracle because I can't
Hello?
understand what CJ's saying. Raging Oracle says, I expect 3 straight quarterback sweeps and 4 straight wide receiver screens by halftime. God, no. PJ's dying over there already. He's like, just, oh my God.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, I think if Getsy can get out of his own way, we can finish this year undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, finish out the season with all wins. But I think that's the biggest holdup right now because everything else has improved. The players has improved, the defense has improved, even the defensive callers has improved. At times, Getsy has, but then there's times where on that 4th and 1 last week, where he want to pitch it out to GJ as opposed to running something more simpler. Come on, man. Come on. Or on that 3rd down in the red zone, we decide to do a rollout instead of, hey, you've been running the ball successfully downfield. Now you want to do a rollout. Sometimes, every now and then, he has a brain fart and mess up the flow. So that's what I'm saying. I believe we can win, but it depends on Getsy doing the right thing. And that's what I'm worried about, whether or not he can consistently do the right thing.
Oh God, please! I'm right there with
Get out
you.
of his own way, get rid of the ego, and call stuff that works, that Fields is comfortable with, and play some better situational football. I know we use that term all the time, but it's really a must here, man. I alluded to it before when I said, yeah, I'd like to see a deep shot, just not on 3rd and 15 when they're looking deep to begin with. 2nd and 5 or less, take a shot. Take a shot.
Man.
3rd and 4 ain't so bad, but 4th and 18, you can't even think about it. So I don't know. It is, but I'm hoping the last couple weeks that as a team, Flus and Getsy have sat down and learned something, because Flus got involved in the play calling. Was it in Minnesota? In Minnesota, there's a clip of him going over and telling Flus something and pointing to the board. And we're 99% sure that he basically called a play that didn't work. So, and that was Flus.
Well, he's not an offensive guy.
He's not an offensive guy, but when he's digging into it like that's one thing that would make me worry, if he's got to walk over there and stick his nose in it, other than to say, hey, man, let's play to Justin's strengths here and run the ball, because those are our strengths.
Outside of the Washington and first half of the Denver game, I have seen our play calls have a sense of no flow to it. There's no rhythm to it. It seemed like it's herky-jerky. It kind of reminds me of our previous coach, where it's like, let me call this play to see if it works, as opposed to let me run this play to set up the next play, and then set up the next play,
Yeah.
then I can come back to this play. There's no flow to it, and that was really hurting, I think, a lot of our offensive progress, because on those scripted plays at the beginning of the game, we almost score every time. It's like we run those scripted plays, we almost score every first drive of the game. But after that, when he has to adjust and readjust, it's like, well, let's call this play. I remember, let's call this play over here. And there's no flow to it. And it's like, come on, man, just have a nice flowing. But if you go back to that Washington game, I'm telling you, there was a nice flow to that game. I haven't seen it since.
We saw it.
No. It's like he scripts the
Justin
first
played
drive.
more Justin, and the offense was opened up. And those are the strengths, man, with running the ball. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jordan.
it's like Getsy. They get the first 15 plays scripted, and then from there on out, he's like, "Well, we'll figure this out."
Right.
And then it's like, any one of us could do a better job in Madden.
It's like, dude, do you not do your homework enough to go, okay, out of these first 15 plays, if these are the ones, let's say these 4 right here are really working, I should have, for each 15 plays that I have, I should have another 7 plays that I can run off of those 15 plays. Meaning that, okay, I got these 15 plays called. So for this first play, I'm going to have 7 other plays that if this one works, I can also run things out of that same formation that'll look similar, but we'll be able to keep on with this flow. If you're not doing that, what is part of your game plan that you're doing? Because that's the whole purpose of the 15 plays, is to show, okay, or see what's working. Okay, this is working. All right, cool. Let me make a note of that, because I can then run some plays off of what's working here. Oh, this one right here is not working. Okay, let me scratch that one because they D'ing up that one, so I can go to something else. But it's like those first 15 plays, after he's done with that, now he's like scrambling. Okay, what can I come up with? I'm ready. I'm ready to see the commercial. So what would Nagy do in this situation? Let me use this one. I was waiting, man. Come on.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
That's your job, Walt. Get your ass on that. Come on. Keep making up for your ass with the Nagys. Wait, who pulled him? Did you pull yourself?
No.
There you go.
I didn't pull him.
I did.
Oh,
I was gonna say, maybe he's talking about Charles Nagy, the Cleveland starting pitcher.
or what? There's another Nagy, right?
Is he injured?
Man.
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
Sometimes you wish you had his play calling back, right?
Mo Bierman said the first 15 worked because that is all they really have time to practice week to week.
That's funny.
Well, at least they're practicing, because man, the previous coach would install a play and never even practice it.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty brilliant, man, isn't it?
I'll never forget. Do you guys remember that one block? I forget. I think it was against the Chargers, as a matter of fact, where there was a play called where Sosa came right in the backfield and he will not block a best team.
I remember that.
I'm like, where do you come from with this stuff?
It's just anybody. You're not going to block one of these guys on the line and let him through that quick. You're not going to give him 2 seconds.
No one blocked the guy. I was like, wow. And he drilled the running back, David Montgomery, I think it was, just drilled him in the backfield. I'm like, wow.
Hold on a second, guys. Raging Oracle I can't. Well, don't be surprised if we see the wishbone offense versus the Browns. Raging, you have got to be from our era, because who the fuck runs the wishbone anymore? I know that was our main offense in high school for me.
Hey.
How about you, PJ? Did you run the wishbone?
He goes, like you said, in that time frame, who didn't?
Exactly.
Man. Everybody
quarterback runs out, pitches it out to the running back. It's like,
oh yeah,
boring.
Hey, Oklahoma Sooners made famous doing that, didn't they?
Yes, sir. Mark Kazak is saying that we're boring the hell out of him because we're making him tired. He has to go to bed.
It works. You got to get up and go to work too. Good night, Mark.
Mark, you have a good night, man. It's always good seeing you, man. I appreciate you, truly.
We love and appreciate you, Mark. A big-time supporter of BCP. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Unapologetic Truth hopping in. Browns going to lose. Yes, sir.
Down.
Plank. Great to see you again, of course. Mark Kazak, Night Bro. Great to see you, Mark. As always. Looks like we lost CJ.
Yeah.
Either he got bored with us too, or his internet just shit on him.
Man, his internet is really bad now.
It was kind of like Greg Gabriel's on the Barham Network.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You must have
It's like
Comcast.
2023.
I just upgraded to. I'm going to do a quick shameless plug here. Sign up for AT&T fiber optic service right now for $80 a month. You'll get a 1,000 gigabyte download speed for $80.
Okay. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Sign up to AT&T.
Oh, shameless.
Are,
Plug.
are you getting anything for that, or was it
I'm
just?
trying if you guys would not cut me off in the middle of a plug. Jeez.
Oh, cut them off.
I'm trying to. I'm
Cut 'em
working on it. I'm working on it. It's
Oh, okay. In that case, go ahead, man. Go ahead and give your plug in.
yeah, AT&T fiber optic network. Set up now for $80 a month. 1,000 gigabyte download speed. AT&T. Let's go on. Moving on.
Dick Richards.
Dick Richards.
Oh, Richards. Okay.
Richards.
It's Dick Richards. Don't make me have to play it for you again.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards.
It's Dr. Dick Richards, for fuck's sake.
You know what? Every time, see, if you leave it just like that, man, we're good. You don't have to play the whole commercial. Just play that part right there. You're good.
Fair enough.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards.
Oh, no, man. What are they doing on that side of the screen, Walt?
Well said, PJ.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, honestly, guys, take a look at how his face is looking when he's doing that, though. Just take a real look at his eyes and how he's holding his hand.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards.
I have just tried to avoid the entire thing after seeing it. The story and everything that went prior to it that night, I've just tried to avoid it continuously. Mr. Mushroom Head.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you can finally laugh at that with the same laughter that I have done for so many times, PJ. Thank you.
I'm telling you, that's a classic movie. I mean, hi, I'm Dr. Dick Richards.
No, it's greetings. Greetings. Hold on, get it right.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards. Have you
You actually paid money for that suit jacket?
Huh?
I did. I bought it. Dude, I went down to like one of these, southern
Attraction?
stores down here. No, don't talk shit about the southern suit stores, man. That's where everyone buys their suits for church down here. And I bought the Ron Burgundy suit. I spent some money on it. It was for a Halloween party. So I have never worn that, out in public, by the way. It's always just been for either a Halloween party or that video.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Dick Richards.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I was going to ask if they paid you to take it off their hands.
Yeah, they might have. Foster's on a pee break. Okay. Gotcha, buddy. Fun stuff tonight. Some good laughter. Apparently CJ is gone for the night. Oh, here he is. So sorry, guys. My apologies for cutting out. CJ, your connection was absolute crap, but you were a fantastic guest.
Indeed.
So
Yes.
Just got to buy a new hamster,
just get like a hamster 2.0 for your internet. It'll speed it up. But excellent guest as always, CJ. We really appreciate you coming on tonight. Hang on, I was talking some Bears. You've got some great points. I'm as I've said, just to recap for the millionth time, I want to see the season play out before I make a judgment on Fields. But if you go and look, Spectrum, I get it. Spectrum, I get it, CJ. But if you go and just watch some tape, I was like, what I like to do is when I'm laying in bed trying to go to sleep, I just put on YouTube videos and try to like fall asleep till my phone drops on my chest and, I go to bed. Don't go there, PJ. And then I come across the CJ Williams video. I go down to look a little bender and I think, well, And that's all I've been trying to present to you guys is I'm not out on Fields. I love Fields. I want Fields to be the guy. That's why I can say nothing more than these next 4 games are critical for everyone on this team.
So let me get this right.
Coaching staff. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
You mean to tell me, laying in the bed with this beautiful wife of yours, when you don't have nothing else to do?
We had already had sex 4 times.
I didn't say nothing about that, man. This is hey, let's keep it PG here.
Well,
but I have nothing. I have nothing else to do.
Well, no, wait. What you're saying is I should have been taking advantage of my wife, but I already did that 4 times before that.
Hey. This is a PG show, bro. Let's keep it PG.
So why are you talking?
We got because you got to learn how to talk around things, man. Work with me.
Okay, I'm following you. Go ahead.
But I ain't got nothing else to do. So I decide to do what again? Oh, you lost me at that. What you say? You
watch
decided
YouTube
to do what?
videos.
Oh, watch YouTube videos.
Yeah. And because I don't have the stamina of you for 5 times, PJ. Therefore, I'm watching YouTube videos.
PG, brother. PG now. PG. Keep it PG.
Well, what are you talking about? You brought up the anti-PG stuff. Stop looking at that back. Get your ass back in here. You're not just going to bail on us like that. Okay, so fair enough. I was laying in bed after having a great time 5 times over. I won't say how. I could have been on a Ferris wheel for all you know. But I was watching YouTube videos.
All right, yeah, that's better, Red. Okay, that's better. That's better.
I just got done making out with my wife for the 5th time. Thank you, Raging. Oh man, if it wasn't for your laugh, I wouldn't know what to do with my life, PJ. And when you compare you contrast your laughter to just the look on Walter's face, like his dog just got run over by a car and he's trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of here.
You guys ever see that thing on YouTube where you're watching a YouTube and somebody's talking about something and then they show a flash of that guy going, "What?" That's what I'll be waiting for Walt to say.
I know, but he never does. He just continues to go.
Man.
Oh, you're awesome, Walt. By the way, you're doing a great job. I wanted to let you know that, Walt, because you were at the game this past week, so I set up your thumbnails and stuff for your Sunday night show. But I did that because I knew you were at the game. So please feel free to control that show that you want, my friend. You guys are doing a great job on that. As long as you want to continue to do that, I would love to see it. It gives me something to watch while I'm laying in bed next to my wife after having a great time. But I won't say how. I was having a great time in the backyard earlier. And I'm watching you guys going, you guys are doing a fucking great job. And I'm proud of you guys. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. We'll keep it up. More ways than one.
Hey, Cliff, man, I'm sorry.
Whether take some Viagra or not, right, Walt?
I'm sorry to hear you sick, Cliff. I hope you feel better, buddy.
Oh, there you are, Cliff.
Yeah, he said he was sick.
Oh,
so he
bro.
was sleeping. Hope you feel better.
Sorry to hear that you're sick. Wait, what? 56-7 Raiders?
Man.
Are you kidding me?
And the defensive tackle ran 50 yards in about 10 seconds.
Damn, bro. Cliff, just the flu, PJ. Thanks. So what do you mean? Like, Is it coming up both ends, bro? What are you doing? You throwing up?
We don't need details, bro. You got the
No,
floor.
I want to. I'm concerned for my friend. Are you
Not
okay,
if you're
bro?
trying to figure out if it's coming out both ends, man. Stop.
Hey, I wasn't.
That's what you asked.
I kept it PG.
But you asked, is it coming out of both ends? Stop.
It could be in your nose and your mouth. You could be sneezing and coughing and
Watch
blowing
this
up
change the
boogers and
subject,
stuff.
y'all. Watch this change the subject. Hey, that game's a blowout.
56-7 for real.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And we need the Raiders to win. Guys, this is coming. This is gonna. Oh, wouldn't it be amazing?
Why do we need the Raiders to win?
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm getting really nervous right now saying this, but if it came down to the Packers game and it was winner in, I don't even know. I've been there and done that 1,000 times over, and I don't know what I would do. The last time I was in that scenario was 2010 championship game. I literally laid in bed all day and meditated. I meditated for like 6 hours before that game and thought nothing about the outcome of that game so that I could be prepared for the loss. And then they lost. And I just went, and something snapped in my brain, and I just didn't give a shit about football for like a year because I was so sick of the Packers. If we lose the first game of the year and have a chance to go to the fucking playoffs and lose to the Packers in the last game of the year. Oh.
So to answer my question, Shorty, or to re-ask my question, why do we need the Raiders to win?
It helps our chances
of
making the playoffs.
Oh,
okay. Thank you. I honestly didn't know. That's all I was wondering.
Oh, because we lost to the Chargers and we beat the Raiders.
Correct. So of these two teams, we need the Raiders to win tonight. Yeah. So an astounding blowout like that.
And they just picked the ball off and got another touchdown. It's 63-7. Nobody's seeing that yet.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are you serious right now, Foster?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Foster, is your internet that I'm still on a commercial? I'm on a commercial, and you mean to tell me you sick?
As I looked over, I saw the entire play.
This dude. Oh,
he's like 80 miles north of you, dude. What are you?
I'm telling you. But hold on, though. If it's 63-7, man, that's on par with that. What Miami beat Denver? 70 to what?
70 to what?
Yeah. Miami beat Denver 70 to something. I forgot what it was.
The only problem is neither one of them are 73-0.
Zach,
so this ain't count for shit.
This ain't fucking Fruit Loops.
Zach, it's Fruit Loops tonight, man. Sorry. You might as well throw some Apple Jacks in too while you're at it.
They still got the guy on the cart. They just now taking the guy off the field on the cart on my TV.
Mo Bearman saying 70 to 10.
Yeah.
Miami.
Wow. Look like the Raiders are gonna cup. Oh my gosh! I just seen it. Oh man, jeez.
Damn. How?
That's what 2 whole minutes later.
Heidi, what's up, Heidi?
Heidi, how you doing tonight?
Heidi, we are live every Monday and every Thursday.
We're here every Thursday, Heidi. Dan and Dan do their stuff on Monday. That's those guys. They don't even count anymore.
We hope that you are well, sweetheart. You are a wonderful woman. We had a great time hanging out with you at Aldo's. You're a sweetheart. And then to go back to a Category 5, I'll say it for the 18th time. You're a trooper, and we wish you well, man. Thank you woman. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Okay.
Heidi.
I think it's just my internet. My internet just super slow. Because I'm just now seeing a comment from Heidi. Well, you've been talking about it for the last minute.
The one that just said hello, just stopped by to say hello.
Kisses everyone. I will tune in next time.
That's her second one.
Yeah,
okay.
Second one, man.
All right. Okay. So that part, at least
How
that.
much have you had to drink tonight, PJ?
You're
Jeez,
still
Ate
behind.
too much chicken broth tonight, or what? What's going
He's
on?
really unhappy because he can't find any of his weapons.
Oh, that's right. It's his root beer float tonight's getting to his head.
Oh, God.
Too much sugar.
James Ford is spelling it out. Raiders 63, Chargers 7.
That's
Dude,
much-
that's insane.
It's close. That's about the same score I said.
Does anyone think Staley will retain his job?
Probably
Anyway.
not.
No,
I'm going to tell you what. The Bears mascot is not going anywhere. He'll remain.
right.
I'm talking about Brendan.
Oh, sorry.
His
Chargers.
only hope is that, man, they've lost all their key players on offense. You know what I mean? It's his
Bro.
only hope. But
Bro,
this defense, the Chargers defense on paper,
your
is not
offense
the
didn't
wor-
give
is
up
not the
63
worst in the
points.
league.
Your offense gave up 14 in a row. Don't get me wrong, but you just gave up 14 in a row. But you didn't give up 63.
Dude, Staley's gone. I
Oh,
remember thinking,
Screw Staley, screw all the other crap, man.
but we're talking about the Raiders, though. Raiders not even a powerhouse team, and they put up 63 on you.
is the game over?
They're
No.
motivated, and the
It's still in the
Chargers.
third quarter.
The Chargers have been shitting in their pants. What did they score last week? What did they score the week before?
Is this going to be the NFL record?
What was that against the Patriots? They won
9-6, 9-3, or something.
6-0,
6.
6-0.
Yeah. So just
Now you're losing. Okay, it's in the fourth quarter now. 14 minutes and something to go. So 63-7.
PJ, what are your keys to the Bears winning this week, man?
Oh, you missed it.
I did.
Yeah.
Son
You
of
was
a-
going to the bathroom. I said,
Yeah, you guys. I did.
oh,
I leave
I'll give
for
you the
3
abbreviated
minutes.
version.
I tell you what, Foster, go back and rewatch the show.
I'll give you the abbreviated
All
version.
right, fine, man. I will.
Max
I'm gonna do it
protection.
right.
Max protection. I think we'll win. If we go empty sets, we are in trouble of losing.
I heard that part. That's about the only part I heard.
Yeah, I think we need to do the 2 tight end sets, the 12 personnel type things. We can do that. I think we can win, but if not, problematic.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I want to have to repeat the whole thing over again, but that was a short version.
Go back and rewatch the show, Foster.
Gotcha. Did Walt? Did you say your keys to the game or no?
No, not yet. I'm just thinking about how if we had Justin Fields against the Chargers, man, instead of that other quarterback, how we would have just sloshed him.
Yeah, that was
It means
Thanks for your
nothing
thoughts
because
on
we didn't
that,
have
buddy.
we didn't have the guys around him, Walt. We didn't have the same guys playing around him. We didn't have Sweat on the defense. It wasn't playing as good as it is now.
Let him give him his moment of.
We had guys falling down on
Shut
the
up,
offensive
Foster.
line.
Let him
2 of
finish.
them a play. I'm just saying.
I'm just fucking around.
So, what do you guys think?
Throw them off.
What is Mac thinking right now?
Wait, which Mac? Mac?
Khalil Mack.
Here's what he's thinking. Oh, because you're watching him on the bench. He's going, man.
No, I'm just wondering because he used to play with.
I thought I was going to be able to do something, but I think I'm done. I think I'm just going to leave all this crap behind, take my money, and go live on an island. That's what I.
No, because he wanted out of he wanted to get away from the Raiders so bad.
Yeah.
And now he's there and he's watching this other team that he's on getting totally dominated by the Raiders. I'm wondering, like,
yeah,
man.
and
First off, Foster, you have to read the fine print of that negotiation
agreement?
that you just signed today. It doesn't mean you can go live on a beach somewhere. No, you can't do that. It's read the fine print. Go ahead, PJ. Finish what you were saying.
No, I mean that's where I was at. I was just wondering, what is he thinking? I mean, I wonder when teams get thoroughly trashed by their former team, what they're at that time, and just wondering what's going through their mind. Like, man, I should have stayed over there.
when a player leaves a team and then gets trashed by that team,
Yeah,
you're wondering what he's thinking.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll ask. You could ask a bunch of Bears players that question.
We could ask Eric Krimmer that when he comes on next. He might have some of those experiences, right?
Yeah.
Save that question, Foster. That's a good question.
I've never.
That's if you get a chance to ask it.
No, not even.
No, Foster, he doesn't shut the fuck up, so he'll definitely get that question in.
Hey, did you guys notice?
I'm gonna forget it anyway.
When I told CJ I had one question, I literally had only one question. Did you guys catch it?
I know, but it's like so hard to believe you now. It's so hard to believe you.
It took 17 minutes for that all to occur. I timed it.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
You can talk about me behind my back, Foster. Don't talk about me to my face.
Real though, Foster. I mean, the Browns game.
That was the best ones I've heard yet.
That was good, dude. That was good. I didn't see that one coming at all, man. That's so like you to be backwards.
For those of you in audio stream, he pulled Foster and then said that.
Well, go, Walt. I want to hear what you were saying, man, because you just were leading into something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that you got to keep Fields upright first off. I mean, I think the Myles Garrett puzzle has been solved by the Rams, and that game and even last week it really wasn't a factor in. It was a one tackle across 2 games.
Yeah.
What did they do specifically? You know what?
I'm not entirely sure. Like down to 100% exactly what they did.
Okay.
Whatever they did, it worked.
It's on film. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It could be,
Well, I'm just curious if I mean, before I could I was just curious.
I'm not sure. I gotta go back and watch it and see exactly what they did.
I mean, I wasn't trying to call you out on that. I was just curious.
Oh no! I know. I mean, our guys will be fine. We took on Aiden Hutchinson without really a major issue. So.
In both games.
Yeah, really in both games. But they'll probably line up Garrett on a few different places, probably both ends, maybe even in the center. So,
if they were smart, they'd line him up over the center or probably Nate Davis.
PJ, I'm for Christmas. I'm gonna buy you a Cubs hat or a Blackhawks hat or a Bulls hat. Just to get rid of that, whatever that is. I don't even know what team is that. Boston
Red Sox, dude.
That's what I thought. Get the you in that Boston Red Sox hat right now, always representing other teams during a Bears show.
Well, it could be a Bears hat. It is a B.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I won't accept it because like. People that have been around know exactly what the fucking thing is.
Hey, Foster. We didn't ask you, buddy.
I still got to throw my 2 cents in. You know that.
I figure if I get a Atlanta Braves hat, I have an A. Then I can go with this hat with a B. Then I can get a Cubs hat. I can have a C. Then I can have my ABCs.
Okay, fair enough.
Writing
that down on my Christmas list over.
Mm-hmm. We got to worry about DJ Moore too. I know he's back practicing today, even though limited capacity.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see where he ends up.
Sweat's ankle too. They both were banged up.
Oh God, please don't.
No more discussion about an ankle. For those of you who played sports, I'm not asking who did and who didn't. I'm just saying for those of you who did, most of us know you want to wear a couple pair of socks to protect your ankles, or a high pair of shoes to protect your ankles, or tape to protect your ankles. Seeing him out there with some no-show socks on.
Who?
DJ. He don't wear socks. He wear those things that, goes down his leg, but he don't actually wear socks like that. And it's like, protect your ankle, bro. I know you need to be faster, but protect your ankle. Whether it's high tops, tape, couple pair of socks, something, protect your ankle.
You definitely want to have support there.
Yeah. And I see a lot of receivers are like that. They wear those no-show socks and those sleeves that goes down your leg to your ankle. But if you look close enough, you'll see that gap between the no-show socks and the sleeve to where they're actually not really wearing any ankle protection whatsoever. And it's like, come on, man. It's like some players don't even wear a jockstrap. Stop playing. Protect yourself.
No shit. I want to get to King Pookie here. Not so much what he's saying right here as just as much as I want to get to King Pookie with King Pookie has been blowing me up on Twitter DM about his disdain for Ryan Poles. And he's like, I have a buddy that hates Ryan Poles and he wants to come on and tell you all about the reasons why Ryan Poles sucks. And I'm like, So I started to get into a conversation with him on Twitter DM, and King Pookie, love you. We'd love to have you on. But I mean, we have to like have the rationale to be I mean, you have your own opinion. You can definitely hate Ryan Poles if you want. But to look at what he has done for this team, and I have gone through that with you in our conversation, all the draft picks, all the picks that he's attained by trades. I just don't understand why you are in such, literal disdain for Ryan Poles. Like, you keep going back to the head coach that he hired. But in my opinion, if it came down to, black and white, I would think that they probably wanted McCaskey's probably wanted Flus to be the head coach, and they kind of pushed it on him, and he took Flus as his head coach. If you gave him a second chance at that, not sure that he would even need it. Let's see how the season plays out again. But what else has he done that's been so terrible, Pookie? I just don't understand why you are so against Poles.
Now that I agree with.
5 picks into 13 in the first year. How many starters? 8, 9, 10 starters?
I mean, I don't agree with everything you said.
Players that have started is probably more like 15.
Yeah, I don't agree with everything you said there, but I do agree if you look at the record. I don't think Eberflus was forced on him. I just think he made a choice. But to your point, though, he might have messed up on not drafting Stroud. Might have. He messed up on the trade of Claypool. But other than that, what are you really disappointed in? I mean,
well, let me piggyback off of that really quick. What happens if he does not choose Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams becomes the next Patrick Mahomes, and then a year from now, we're moving on from Justin Fields, trying to figure out, well, maybe we can get another quarterback in this next draft, even though we just passed up on him.
What do I feel about that?
Yes,
I'll tell you. I feel like we'd be first place in the NFC, just like the 49ers are with all those talented players.
We did, Foster.
We did.
Go ahead, PJ.
I'm just saying we'll finish first place in the NFC with all the talented players we got by passing up Caleb Williams and trading that draft pick. And we got all these first round draft picks and these other picks. So we built up our whole roster. So then next year, we're now, although we messed up on passing on Caleb Williams, we're using Tyson Bagent or some other player and still making it to the Super Bowl because we built such a great team that the quarterback doesn't even matter.
I just wanted you to reiterate that for Pookie, who just recently joined us. Thank you for joining us, King Pookie. Because there's nothing you can say about Poles that is negative in any of our opinions. I mean, he's done a great job. Right? Right.
You know where I'm at.
How do you say it again? Oh, damn it.
Sri Ram.
Very nice meeting you, gentlemen. I enjoyed listening to everything. Look forward to speaking soon. And thanks again, Foster Covers. Appreciate you inviting me. Yes, we will have you on a future show here, Sri Ram. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And you are awesome. Appreciate your support.
Excuse me.
All right. So is this show done then?
Yeah.
I just repeated ourselves, right?
Do you think Poles is the best thing since sliced bread?
I do, because sliced bread is very bad for you, man.
It is.
Very
It's
bad.
terrible. It's white refined flour.
Sliced white bread is very bad for you.
Terrible for you.
I would say outside of Jim Finks, he's probably the best GM we had. And for those of you who don't remember Jim Finks, he's the guy who put the 85 Bears together. But so I'm not saying he's perfect. I just think he has done a lot of things that is right. And if we can keep with this upward trajectory, I do expect us to get in the Super Bowl. To answer your next question, do you think Pose will take us to the Super Bowl? I think he's building the right culture for it, because what we don't realize or understand what Kansas City did before they brought in Mahomes, they built a good team up. And then the missing piece was a quarterback. Truth be told, I think Alex Smith, given another year there, he probably would have took him to the Super Bowl. But they just went ahead and moved on from him. So, but that's what you do. You build a good team up. And building a good team up, you can then have a quarterback who, like I've said many times, you can have a mediocre quarterback, because your great quarterbacks doesn't always win. I mean, Dan Marino, to me, probably one of the best. I'll put him up top. He's probably one first or second best quarterback I've ever seen play. I mean, as far as pure talent wise, between him and Aaron Rodgers, pure talent, and between those two, one Super Bowl. One Super Bowl. Now, me personally, my quarterback, I think Joe Montana, the way he managed the game and the way he played, I thought he was a good quarterback throughout. Tom Brady, he became better as he kept doing them, but because, like I said, the first few Super Bowls they won, it was because of defense and the kicking game. But all of Montana's games, he was giving the ball to Rice, Taylor, all these players. So he is always dynamic. But for the natural best quarterbacks, Marino, Rodgers, fantastic, but one Super Bowl. Even Elway, like I was trying to say earlier, he was a great quarterback, but he didn't actually win a Super Bowl till they became a better team. They finally got a team with a defense, and they got a team. I mean, they had Terrell Davis rushing the ball. So great quarterbacks alone don't win you Super Bowls. I can't think of Joe Namath, but even when Joe Namath won it way back when, he had a good running game. So I can't think. Dan Fouts, he was a great quarterback with Jefferson and I forgot the other receiver. And, Joyner, yes.
Joyner, man.
He had.
How did they not win a Super Bowl, Pete?
But that's what I'm saying. You have these great quarterbacks that don't necessarily translate into winning a Super Bowl. You have to have a team, and we can build up a great team, because remember, not so long ago after the Mac trade, we looked at our roster and was like, man, this team, outside of a couple of players, we are really devoid of talent. We really didn't have much talent at all. Poles has now can make it possible if he does what we think he should do. Get these first round picks, build up this team, and they're young. We can actually go on a run to where we can be, quote, dare I say, a dynasty with the right moves. But it all starts with making a good team and not just focusing on, let's get the next new shiny toy in Caleb Williams this year.
Yeah, true. PJ, you could stand pat at 1-7 or whatever you end up in and make a great team too. So there's a lot of good options.
Well said, my friend.
You could trade.
I don't
think that
options and information, and Poles is going to trade because he's just going to do what he's been doing.
Sorry to interrupt you, Walt. You could not have said that better, PJ. Go ahead, Walt.
Yeah. No, it's just like if it's coming to a point of it's like building a car. You get all the parts together, and then eventually you start putting in these high-end parts, so to speak. We have the the stuff to build it. We can start adding some high-end parts and really souping up our vehicle now.
Right.
We've got all the OEM parts, or most of the OEM parts,
Or
original equipment manufacturer stuff, and we're going to upgrade it. That's what Walt, you're saying, man.
building the foundation, and then you now the foundation is built. So now we're just building the rest of the house. We're putting in the granite countertops and all that shit.
We're trying to stay with the car analogy, dude. It's
Granite
upgrading the
countertops,
fuel injector and putting on better brakes.
But I don't think we're necessarily done with the basic parts yet. See, that's where I differ with Walt. I mean, we and Walt are on the same page for the most part, but where him and I differ is he think that, you know, going after Marvin Harrison Jr. at 1 is the way to go. Whereas I think we still need more parts, the basic parts of, man, another pass rusher, possibly another offensive lineman being a center for sure, but another tackle, whether it's Braxton Jones' backup or Braxton Jones' replacement. I just think we're another tackle away also. So I think we still need some basic parts.
Yeah, I guess you can make that argument, PJ. You know, it can go either way.
Yeah.
You know, I look at it as like you're talking about bringing in a lot of depth. You know, like those back end parts. Like you have your tackles with Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, so you really don't need like an Olu Fashanu or a Joel if you don't want to. You know,
right?
You can. We have 2 4th-round picks too. You can get depth out of those picks right there.
Yeah, but you can't address all the depth. And, well,
you're never going to be able to address everything.
But
even if you have 100 picks,
the carburetor where it all starts, the center position, that's weak. That needs
weak.
more than that needs more. That needs center one and depth at this point.
Yeah,
we've gone through enough of them looking at it. So you know we're missing some parts still, but we've got most of the car rebuilt. It's actually a drivable car these days.
Agreed.
Before when we started, it was up on the rack, man. We were looking at the damn oil pouring out of it.
I'm trying to figure out the analogy between a car and a house. So a car means like
it's the same thing. But
the engine's is the engine in place at least?
We're driving it, dude. We've been able to drive it. Okay. I didn't do that one.
That was me. But no, like you said, center is definitely a position of need that we need to upgrade. But we could theoretically bring back Lucas Patrick as a backup role, and then move in with this young center that we draft, roughly in the 3rd round, because there's no center that's going to go in round 2, round 1 this year. They're good, but they're not that good.
Yeah.
There's better players that can fill up those other 64 picks.
We're probably not going to get the starting center out of this draft for this year. It may be something down the future. So that's why we got to go free agent it. He's got to spend some money too. Yeah. Can't do everything through the draft. There's got to be some money spent, man.
Well,
I think PJ's credit, you can get that other pass rusher with the 2nd pick.
Well, I think though that what we're kind of discounting is we've been extremely healthy for the most part this year. I mean, we had a little bit of nicks in the line, a little bit.
Yes.
But like our skilled players, they have been pretty healthy.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. We need to be able to have
knocking on wood.
If our star receiver went down, are we confident enough in our offense to think that, hey, we can still be able to score if he went down? That's why, we do need that other receiver, but we also need, what if our tight end went down? You notice I'm not mentioning their names because I don't want to jinx it, but if our tight end went down, do we have another tight end that can truly step up? Because from what I've seen out of Tunyon in our uniform, he ain't that guy. What he did last year in Green Bay where he had 50-something catches, cool. He haven't shown me nothing here. So that's what I'm saying. We need to build up those things to where, hey, we need to keep this thing going, because even when Herbert went down, I thought Foreman did a good job of stepping up, but then Foreman goes down, seems like. Well, he did get hurt. And it's like our running game really hasn't been the same. So we're still some pieces away, in my opinion. We're a lot better. We're on the right track, but I can't say that we're just a player or 2 away. I think we still need to keep on building this roster to where if we take some hits, we still can be that team that, hey, we're still rolling. Because to Shorty's point, I'm confident enough in Bajent now to where if Phil goes down, you know what, Bajent, I know we can at least be 500 with you in the starting lineup. I know you can be 500.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks. But that's what I'm saying. That's where we need to be at, and I don't even think we're close to that because.
Well, I'm gonna feed on that. I said this on Twitter the other day. I was like, man, because somebody's going, oh, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. I said, dude, we need 10 more draft picks, 15 more UDFAs, and a couple more free agents to see what we can pan out and be even better next season. Got no reply after I said that because you're like, oh, all we need is the 6 picks and a couple free agents. And I'm like, you're not looking at the depth. Do you really see? Because we're going to need a starter or two more safeties. I don't know. The list goes on, dude.
Foster, to your credit, though, with UDFAs, that doesn't matter how many draft picks you have. You can get 15 UDFAs.
I understand that. I understand that. But my statement was we could use 10 draft picks, 3-4 free agents, and 15 more UDFAs. It doesn't even 100 UDFAs. We're still only going to end up with 53, but to have the volume to see what you have and try and get the best depth possible, you collect players, And to me, Poles and Cunningham, these guys, and who's ever the scouts are that have been in place that probably haven't been heard, like Poles even said. I sit down and I ask my scouts for their opinions on these guys. I don't just take their reports. I talk to them about it because I don't see Pace and some of the other guys ever doing that because they know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man.
I mean, no.
My point to him was.
It's a great point. Like
we're not done, dude. We got more to do with this team, but we're being put in a better position on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. But let's look at this at just normal draft pick. Let's say we haven't made any trades, no nothing. You just walk in. You have 7 picks to start with. Every team has 7 picks, right?
Right.
And teams get that done with just 7 picks, and they live and die by that. Some do great with even less. So the argument that we need to get more, it can be done with less. It's all about, like you said, Foster. You got to get the scouts in. You got to have them really evaluate the talent. And if they tell you and they go, okay, I think this is the guy. This guy's going to be, a superstar for our team, but it's going to cost us this pick. We're not going to be able to move it and get, this 2nd round pick, this 3rd round pick, this 4th, maybe an extra 2nd. You have to weigh that. Is the opportunity cost you're losing there outweighing the gain of the player?
My argument to that, Walt, is I think the teams that are good continuously have gotten more than 7 draft picks per draft. They have gotten more first round draft picks via a trade, or they've gotten more draft picks via compensatory picks. So they're not just building it on 7 draft picks, 1 per round. They have gotten an influx of getting more guys because Philadelphia did it with the trade of Wentz. San Francisco does it with trading or getting the compensatory picks. These teams are getting these picks.
The Patriots compensatory picks.
Yes. So they're not just doing it with just 7. They're doing it, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think talent-wise, especially our depth, is to where we can say, okay, let's just now do it with 7. That's why I told you in a previous conversation we had, be it last week, I think it was. I think maybe by next year's draft, by the end of next year's draft, we could be where, okay, now we don't need to worry about so much trying to get all these draft picks because we have such a great foundation. My opinion, I don't think we're there yet.
No, I think it's 7 picks just because it's the control in the experiment. So you have to look at it that way.
I love your point to the whole thing about retaining Justin over going to Caleb, though, based on everything you just said, PJ, because really if we're seeing the growth from Justin to this point, we can all agree with that with our own eyes, just from the injury on, we can all agree it's been like, wow, balling out.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you want to get a 1st round pick next year and possibly even the year after that and have 2 1st round picks in the next 2 drafts just to take that chance to see to put all those eggs in the Justin Fields basket and go, listen, we know that this guy might be generational, but we don't care because we think that you are. And we have the talent. We'll have the structure right now, like the fucking Cowboys did with that trade, right? To prove it to you, and then boom, we could be that team, and it doesn't matter if we have Caleb Williams or not. It was well said, PJ.
We got to that. I just want to say this. I want those dartboard picks in the draft, as many as possible.
Yes.
That's where you get your talent.
Yes.
You're going to make mistakes. I understand exactly what you're talking about too.
You're not going to hit on all of them.
I got in an argument with Jordan and Aldo last year on the Barroom Network regarding the last seventh round pick we had. They're like, why don't you take these and couple them to get the sixth? And I just kept saying, because I want the darts, man. I want the darts. Who was that pick again? The last pick. Just saying.
Last year or the year before?
Last year.
Our last pick was it Travis Bell?
Kendall Williamson.
Or no, Williamson. I can't remember which order it was. It was
Yeah,
Bell.
it was Williamson. It was Bell and then Williamson.
Yeah.
So they would have given up those two picks, even though there's nothing to them, but they would have changed those, traded those for a sixth rounder. And I said, I'm like, dude, I want the picks.
But if you look at Troy Aikman, we know he wouldn't have won the Super Bowls if they wouldn't have traded Herschel Walker. I mean, if they would have kept that team as is, you seen what they got. It wasn't until they got all those first round draft picks by making that trade that they were able to then build up that team. And Troy Aikman, I mean,
7 or 8 years to get that kind of talent, Peach.
And not to mention most quarterbacks
taking them 7 or 8 drafts to get there.
Not Troy Aikman at the time, but most quarterbacks of that time did not play right away. He was one of the first to actually play right away. So Justin Fields is 24 going into his third year. Aaron Rodgers hasn't even played his first game yet.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, so for me, build up this talent. I mean, to Cliff Victoria's point that he think we only need like a defensive end, a safety, a wide receiver, and a center. Yeah, but we need depth because honestly, if our star defensive end goes down, well, where we at? I mean, and that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like
just did. Where we at?
Exactly.
What I'm saying is, if we just go get one defensive end, in the draft, and we got him and our current defensive end,
and then we sign
one of them goes down with an injury, where we at? And that's what I'm saying. I'd rather have, look, I got 3 solid defensive ends. One goes down, we still in good shape. I got 3 solid defensive tackles. One goes down, we still in shape. I got 3 solid receivers. One goes down, we still in good shape. That's the type of mentality I have because I'm worried about, the next man up, and we can still keep going. And I think that's what you see with Philadelphia. You see with San Francisco. You see with these winning programs because a guy goes down, we're still going.
Gold bars, right? Draft picks, gold bars. Ryan Poles treats these draft picks like gold bars. We've been saying this from, for a long time now. He does. He doesn't trade them away. He collects them. And I would agree with you. Ultimately, I just speculate, but ultimately I'm agreeing with you wholeheartedly, PJ. Go ahead, Walt.
Can we look at the situation that the Texans are in right now? They were same record as us pretty much, minus a tie. Mm-hmm. Went out, took their picks, got CJ Stroud, traded up and got Will Anderson. So they knew the value of coming in and getting those uber blue chip prospects. And now look where they're sitting right now. They're in playoff contention 1 year after being the laughing stock of the league.
But the rookie head coaching staff.
Don't they have at time one time considered the best offensive tackle in the game in Tunzel? So they have
but the rest of the O line is is trashed right now.
But
CJ's played well above expectations. Number one.
But CJ Stroud was also that guy. He was also that guy, like we said, that is going to be a generational talent. We keep talking about that,
right? But
nobody had him pegged.
But my question becomes, what happens next year? Now, if the Texans are again good next year, I'm going to see your point. But right now, because I'm thinking the teams haven't really caught up with them per se, and see what they're doing.
A little flash in the pan, Pete.
Yeah, that's why I want to see what they do next year. And whereas that's why I'm saying I'm trying to build a team that's sustainable year after year after year, and I'm waiting to see whether or not that's the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, like Zach Salvin said, they had 7 offensive linemen on the IR this year. And somehow they're still pulling out games. Now, there's more factors to it than just that.
Man.
There's the
That
coaching
is
staff.
crazy insane. Sorry, Walt. That's
okay.
insane. 7.
There's the coaching staff. There's the game plan put in place by that coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also the mentality of the players themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But the GM was brand new. He wanted to make a splash, so he went out and he got arguably what is the best quarterback in the draft, and also the best defensive end.
Yeah.
We have the same ability to do that. It's just we don't have to trade
And
back to get that defensive end. We can go ahead and take the best wide receiver, fill that slot. Come in.
And also, I was just going to piggyback off that. They had some underperforming players last season too, because of the situation that was going on down there. So I mean, you get the whole picture now, and it makes it's totally a good picture, Walt. You're making a valid, legit point.
When I look back at all the losses last year, that like it single-handedly looked like Justin Fields was going to win for us. Driving the ball down the field, getting down to the goal line twice, against the Commanders, and failing on some, just whatever circumstance, call it a shitty player or not. And then, the Packers last year, another goal line stance. They couldn't get the job done. Smith-Marsette fumbling the ball on what looked like to be like a go-ahead drive to win the game. Justin Fields he was the man. He was driving the ball. That dude fumbles it, just hands it back to them. Excuse me. And it's like, he's been denied so many times. And you go into this season denied a couple of times, and finally he gets that game. I love how Vil said it last week. He put his entire body into that throw to DJ 2 weeks ago to win the game against the Vikings. Or was it the Lions? I forget what game. The point is, he put everything into it.
Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing, like, from that point on, like, he's just, I don't know. There's something is different since he came back, and it's exciting to watch. It really is.
I think it's partly to be his improved play is. I think he's a lot more comfortable with the old line. I think he sees that. Hey,
correct. Offensive line is now healthy.
These guys can protect me a little bit, so I can actually stay in here and make this pass. And again, for Stroud, I ain't trying to talk bad against the guy. I just gotta again see what he does next year. I mean, that's where I'm at with him, because if he keeps on going, it
takes a while to figure.
Yeah, because
figure it out.
I'm not totally convinced that he's this great player yet. Yeah,
we'll have a better idea over the next 4 games, and also that's the exception to the rule. What's going on in Houston? Rookie coaching staff, new play caller, rookie quarterback, rookie wide receiver, bunch of second-year guys, some underperformers. That's not the norm. I mean, that is great. I wish that happened to us. Imagine where we'd be now, because that would have been last year. But then.
Does it kind of make the argument to our case that maybe Getsy saw the outlandish talent in Justin and he wanted to try to harness it in different ways, so that it was like his learning process was built on different levels of foundations to go to the next and the next and the next? So last year, it wasn't working out right. So then, boom, they go to his legs. He becomes this record-breaking dynamic player for the Bears, and everyone's calling him a running back. So then this year he's pulling back from that, and he's again learning on the job himself, Getsy, and then he decides, let's try to focus on this and this and this, and then again everyone's learning on the job. You can imagine this team all, rallying around each other in these times, and now you're seeing it actually come to fruition where we're seeing that this team really they want to play for each other, and they're playing for their coaches.
Yeah.
It's it's actually exciting because we've all sat here and like talk shit about this past season and a half, and we've all been impatient with that talking shit in whatever fashion you want to call it. So a lot of us have stuck ground on this, and myself has gone and pontificated left and right this direction. But it all comes down to continuity, right? You stick together, you build off of your bad moments, and those make you better. If you don't have those to build off of, how can you get better?
Yeah.
You're not going to just continuously build off of greatness. It takes those moments of struggle to build a team. And we're starting to see this team now gel and come together, and it's been strangely exciting to watch. I'll say that much.
From the teardown, it's happened pretty quick.
True.
By the end of this season, you're gonna, if you really think about it, you're gonna, especially if what I think is gonna happen happens.
Yeah.
You're gonna look at it and go, "Wow, he did this quick," because everybody knew it should take
Wow,
4
we
or
wanted
5 freaking years,
fucking
man.
fire him 2 years ago. Man, that would have been a mistake, right?
And quickly, just to your point, PJ, you were making before, I wouldn't be mad if they traded the picks away and gotten more. You know, I'm not saying that. That's fine.
Mhm.
You know, you can go that way. Yeah. But at the same time, we're talking about at the very beginning of the show that how can we go and pass Caleb Williams as a generational talent? Why is
Mhm.
Marvin Harrison Jr. not getting that same kind of respect, so to speak? You
Right.
know, because there's other quarterbacks out there. There's Bo Nix, there's Jaden Daniels,
Mhm.
there's the guy out of Washington. And there's other
Mhm.
quarterbacks you can look at. You don't need to go Caleb Williams. But
I
for some reason, we're stuck on that one guy.
yeah. I
Well,
I
look
I
at the
just
highlights.
yeah, I
Well,
think though that if I'm being honest with myself first and foremost,
See that?
as
That's
much
weird. Do you see that?
see what?
I said,
The
if you look
confetti.
at the highlights, Walt, and it like showered me with like
Oh,
confetti. Did you see that? You saw that, right, Walt?
Yeah.
I didn't.
yeah.
That
I
was
looked
weird.
away just in time, man.
I blinked. Yeah.
Showered.
I just
See
think
if I
that
can make it happen again. Nope, not happening. That was weird. You guys saw that, right? In chat? That was
Nope.
weird.
None
okay,
of
let
them
me
saw
finish
it,
my
man.
statement here.
Okay.
I just think that if I'm being honest with myself first, as much as I love Marvin Harrison Jr., is he that much better than Neighbors from LSU?
Yeah.
Is he? Is he?
Yes.
You there are some people who says no. So
That's fine.
some people say that Neighbors is better than he is. So if I trade back and I miss out on
Not the
Harrison,
same type.
Is Neighbor's dad a Hall of Fame wide receiver?
well, Harrison has a great PR staff working for him. He really got a great staff working.
But come
for him.
on, dude.
Who was Jared Payton?
You're a grandfather of grandchildren that
Bloodline doesn't
you're
mean
like
anything,
coaching
though,
up.
Shorty.
Right?
So-
But what I'm saying is, I think Fields. I mean, I think Harrison is good. Don't get me wrong. I think he is the best. But there are some people who says Neighbors is better. So the point I'm making, if I'm trading down and I'm able to get these picks, and I may miss out on Harrison, getting Neighbors, I'm not going to cry about it as long as I got then Neighbors and I got Verse and I got if I want a first round offensive tackle, I got these players. I able to get Fan Pam because I gained a second and I was able to get him. If I can get all these things, I'm like, okay, I miss out on Harrison, but I got these guys, and that's where I'm at. To where, yeah, I may miss the top guy, but if it's a close second that I am getting, I'm willing to. I can live with that, especially if, like in my scenario where I trade down and I'm getting Atlanta's picks, and after a double trade down, I'm getting Atlanta's pick, and I'm also getting Pitts. So Pitts becomes my run tight or my run tight end to where okay, if I don't have my tall receiver in Harrison that I missed out on, I get Neighbors, but I also have Pitts, so I can send him in a route, and he can be my quote unquote kind of X receiver playing the tight end spot. So there's things I could do to still get around it and still improve the talent of the team.
So you can go from getting a 1A to a 1B and a 2A, possibly, because maybe with all those picks you can acquire based on that trade, you could get maybe 2 receivers in this draft that are a 1B and a 2A.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm getting enough to where I can fit that need, that's what I'm saying. I think that the attitude I'm taking, because to my same example before, Calvin Johnson was the best receiver. He ain't never won a Super Bowl. When you have these great
went to high school 4 minutes that way from me.
Whatchamacallit? Randy Moss, great receiver, never won a Super Bowl. So the point I'm making, I may miss out on the greatest, the generational talent, as you're saying, Walt. But if I'm getting the second best and I'm getting more players that can help build this team, that's again where I'm at, because I'm still building this team, because I still don't believe we're just one player away. Now, if you ask me the same question 2 years from now, and we're at that point where I think the team is built, I'm going to be with you. Oh yeah, give me the best one now, because that's what I think. We're only just one player away. I just don't think we're just one player away yet.
I mean, we're not just one player away. That's true, but we have 2 first-round picks and can nail 2 major positions. First off, but if you're going to look at Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr., let's just go look at the numbers quick. You know, I'll start with Neighbors because he's got 86 receptions, 1,500 yards roughly. It's like 1,546, 14 touchdowns, and he averages about 18 yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. is only 67 receptions. 12, 11 yards, 14 touchdowns, 18.1 average. And he's doing it with Kyle McCord, where Malik Neighbors has an elite college quarterback throwing him the ball week in and week out.
Right.
So what I'm saying is the reason why I'm pounding the drum, so to speak, for Marvin Harrison Jr. is I'm looking at the pedigrees of both players. I'm just going to give you what's going on inside my head when I'm looking at this.
Okay.
I take the pedigrees of both players. They're both kind of even, So there's a push there. Numbers wise, they're fairly close. So then I have to go break it down even further and look at how did they come to these numbers? Who was around them? What kind of talent? Did they have a second receiver next to them that could be stealing catches or targets from them? What kind of competition did they play? That all factors in. And even if like what you were saying, if Justin Fields turns into a mediocre quarterback,
right?
I think a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. could still put up elite numbers, where a guy like Neighbors, I don't really know. So that
Fair.
also plays into it, where like I kind of know what I'm getting, but I don't know what I'm getting in this situation. So I'm going to lean to what I know versus what I might have. That's all.
Fair enough.
That's fair. That's a fair argument. I give you that. That's a fair argument.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach, I will no way draft Bowers in the first round. With Komet being our number 1 tight end.
Not unless you pick up 4 picks in the first round when I draft Bowers.
Man, yeah, because we need a defensive end. I mean, there's so many other positions we need more than a tight end.
What if they traded down to 2-3 picks, traded down another 2-3 picks, and then picked up 3 picks in the first round and got Bowers? Whoa,
Peter, there is one.
Put him with Cole Kmet. Oh my goodness.
There's one situation I wanted to run by you guys. I was thinking about this during the week. Let's
say we go Washington.
You bastard.
That's all right. Let's say we go the route of trading the number 1 pick, and let's say we get a huge haul of players. Let's go with the Max Crosby one everyone's been talking about, where it's him, the 11th or whatever the hell their number is, plus the other picks. We take some of those picks, then trade back down to the next pick after that, and then grab Marvin Harrison Jr. You're getting a pass rusher in Max Crosby. You're getting a receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. And you still kind of have that pick to use too.
How we do it again? How did we get there? We traded what now?
So I'm trying to remember the exact trade that they had. It was the number 1 pick, so the Raiders took Caleb Williams. Okay. We ended up getting their first round pick, so we pick swapped there.
Because I think at the time they're number 7.
Yeah,
whatever.
The Raiders,
right?
Yeah, whatever it is at the time.
Yeah.
You then package some of those assets to move back
up.
into the draft to pick the receiver. It's a lot of moving parts, but
that to me, I think you're giving away some valuable pieces to build this team, as opposed to I'd rather keep those 2 first round picks. And in your scenario, if I miss out on Marvin Harrison Jr., okay, give me Neighbors, and I can still have my other first, and I can still go get another position of need and those things, because again, I'm not trying to give away draft picks early. I think we did that already with Sweat. I mean, it's a good trade, but I'm not trying to give up no more. I'm trying to acquire more.
yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I'm with you. I see where you're going with it. I think this is something, because of some of the picks we already have, even down the line, because polls will find a way to acquire more picks.
Because I'm trying to figure out.
I have faith in that, but I get what you're saying. I wouldn't have a problem with that, especially if we don't give up as much as everybody sitting here thinks we're going to give up.
I'm trying to figure out a way, and I haven't gotten to that point yet, where in the trade you would still get Max Crosby, and you would have their pick, which you can use.
That would be a must.
You would have to somehow. I'm trying to figure out how to keep that pick that we get from the Raiders, and somehow still trade up. So it'd have to involve future assets down the line.
Right.
Either that second first round pick for next year, or either like the second for next year. I don't know.
Even if you could take the second from next year, say our second, let's just say that's what it's going to be, because we're going to be that much better, and move forward with that, you're still getting the value piece of your first round pick. You're not trading it next year. You're actually taking that player this year. I could see into that. I just would have to see all the details, exactly what it would be to move up from 5 to where, because we don't actually know where Marvin Harrison Jr. is being taken. It should be 2 or 3, we think, right? Everybody?
I don't.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Because people are talking like 5 anyways with him now.
Well, I believe this.
There's so much though that's yet needs to be decided, Peach, because there's been no Senior Bowl. There's been no combine, nothing. So
I still think the first 3 picks will be quarterbacks.
The first 3?
The first 3. I think it'll be Williams, May, and the boy from LSU.
Yeah, we didn't even see that last year.
It could be
right.
I
think this is a better draft class than last year. So I think the first 3 picks will be quarterbacks, and I think this will probably be the 3rd time that ever happened or something like that, or 2nd time, because I think it happened before.
Shouldn't believe everything you think.
Well, agreed, but that's what I think. I think the first 3. So in my scenario, once again, in the first 3 picks, if the first 3 picks going to be quarterbacks, I may miss out on Harrison at 4. Maybe somebody want Harrison at 4. If I'm trading down or whatever, and I can get to 5, I can take Neighbors if I miss out on Harrison. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. My end all is I'm trying to get as many picks as possible. I just really believe that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because Arizona has 2 picks coming into this year too.
And I think if they in these last 4 games, if they really say, hey, you know what, Kyler, if that coach says, you know what, I cannot do it with Kyler Murray, I just can't do it with him. What can we do to get Caleb Williams? Hey, Chicago, I want to give you my 2 firsts this year and a 2nd next year. Can I have your 1? And you come down to number 3.
PJ, for me, it would be like at the end of the season, if Justin just maintained his last 2-3 games back, and he just played the same, no turnovers or very little, no interceptions, and cut down on those fucking fumbles, and just ball out like he did, dude. There would be nothing any of us would want more than to take that from him, so that we know, okay.
No, I was speaking for Arizona's point. I was talking about Arizona's point. If Arizona says, hey, I'm not happy with Kyler Murray. The coach said, I'm not happy with Kyler Murray. Man,
Bears.
what do I got to do to get him? Chicago, can I give you my 2 firsts this year and a second next year to move up 2 spots? And you take number 3 and I take number 1.
Well, that was my point that I was getting to, would be that, like, yes, then Justin Fields would be, that's the guy you're moving forward. You will trade picks.
Yeah.
You're going to trade the picks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but speaking to
that we need more than for Justin just to go on par for the rest of the season like he's done since he came back from the injury, and he would be the guy that I think we can all agree on. We do not want to trade him or move on. Let's take advantage of those picks, however many we can get from it.
Yeah, but to Walt's point, because he asked, well, he made the comment that he don't think Arizona would give up their picks. I think in that scenario they would, if they really don't believe Kyler's a guy and that they want to, like, look, I just want to go get Caleb Williams. That'd be the scenario in which that'll happen.
The issue with Arizona is too, man. They got to get rid of that Kyler Murray contract, which is damn near impossible.
It just started.
That's the biggest problem.
Or unless, like you guys have said before, well, they're going to have Caleb sit a year. So they have Caleb sit a year and keep Kyler and let Kyler. There's ways around it. I'm just saying, if that head coach is so in love with Caleb Williams and want to move on from Kyler, there's a scenario in which Arizona will want to move up.
I mean, to your point,
Bailey was just fired.
Hold on. PJ just made up a new word. Scenario.
I heard it.
I heard it too. The scenario. The scenario.
It's a sad scenario. It's a scenario.
I'm conducting this.
I'm with Zach though. I don't think they back off of Murray. I don't think they use that pick to get a quarterback. Not this year.
But even if they did,
it's all just opinions, anyways, Peach.
Even if they did get Caleb Williams, I mean, you think you got to go number 1 to get that, right? Your fan base is going to clamor for him to actually start. I mean, this isn't the 90s anymore where the quarterback can sit 2 years, 2-3 years. People want to see these high-end draft picks come in now.
Hence CJ's point: draft him, sit him, run out the 2 years left on Justin, start him, and then Justin's playing well enough. But
you're not talking about him coming to the Bears, though, Dan.
But I'm just saying, let's take the team out of it. Let's just say it's Team X, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking at it from that perspective, why not just draft a quarterback 2 years later then?
Because you don't know, like, if this is guys,
we don't think we're going to have to draft a quarterback
on this draft and go, fucking Caleb Williams has won 4 Super Bowls in the last 6 years and he's the fucking god of the league, and we passed on him, what would happen to us as fans? We would be like,
oh my God, we passed on Joe Montana. Oh my God, we passed on Caleb Williams. We didn't take Tom Brady.
Thank you. It would be a travesty. We would all be just like
Warren Moon, 17th round.
We sat here on all these podcasts and talked about all these scenarios, and I was right and you were wrong, and I was wrong and you were right, and blah 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 blah.
You know what I would say?
Caleb Williams has 5 Super Bowls, and we're sitting there with our dicks in our hand.
You'll be drooling on yourself.
I would say this: if we pass on, and this is how I really feel, I would say if we pass on Caleb Williams and we got these players to build around him and build around Justin, and Justin didn't succeed, but Caleb did, I would say 1, Caleb must have went to a better team. 2, Caleb must have had a better coaching staff. Because again, it has been proven a quarterback alone is not what wins you Super Bowls. So I'm not just going to look at Patrick Mahomes. When we pass on Patrick Mahomes.
Can we talk about Bill Belichick for a second?
Him retiring?
If you're going to say that, think about Bill Belichick. Insert Bill Belichick.
As far as
Belichick.
Should we pass on him?
Bill Belichick won Super Bowls because of Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
Right? For his defense, because of his defense first.
Okay, so then why hasn't he won a division since Tom Brady has left?
Because later it became, like I said, then later it became about Tom Brady. At first it was about his defense. That's what got him to beat the Rams. He beat the Rams because of that defense.
Okay.
It wasn't because of Tom Brady. They were the defense and Vinatieri. So that's what I'm saying. You win. I mean, it eventually came about Tom Brady when you got your quarterback. I mean, that really fully developed. Then I agree with you. Brady was the guy. That's why I told you. In my mind, Montana's the GOAT because he was always that guy. Whereas Brady at first, yeah, he did okay, but he wasn't the reason why you was winning. You was winning in spite of him instead of because of him. Later on, you won because of him.
They won the first Super Bowl because of him.
They scored what, 19 points, something like that? 22
They did
points?
not get to the Super Bowl if it was not for what is now known as the Brady rule.
They didn't win
Right or
because of
wrong?
him. They won in spite of him.
They
They would have won. They would have won that Super Bowl with
They changed the rule, dude, because of him. So they won because of him.
They won because of the defense, man.
They won because Tom Brady should have fumbled that ball, which he did, and they called it a non-fumble or vice
That's one
versa, whatever
play.
the hell it was.
Yeah.
So they changed the rule, which is
The
now
tuck
known
rule.
as the time. Yes,
The tuck rule. Yeah.
they won because of him. If it wasn't
But
for that, they would not have won.
if they would have had a different quarterback, they still would have won. That's what makes it be in spite of him. You could have had any quarterback back there, they still was going to win. I mean, because still the quarterback would have got hit, he would have act like he was trying to throw the ball, didn't throw the ball, fumbles the ball. It's the tuck rule. It's not because of him, that's in spite of him.
When they change a rule because of that play, I would say that is because of him, not in spite of him. Like,
but Dan, to PJ's
play,
point,
they would have lost.
To PJ's point is you can install X quarterback in that position, and the same outcome would still happen.
Not necessarily, because if you don't have a 6'5" quarterback with that wingspan, it might not have been. It might have actually been a fumble.
I'm going to let you have that one, Shorty. I'm just going to let you have that one.
I saw it in your face too. I'm like, I gotcha.
No, you really didn't. I can't defend that argument because you're going way out of left field on that one. Like, what?
That's like saying if the wind didn't blow in the the
true,
angle,
though, like,
36-degree angle at 2 miles
If
per
not for
hour
that
going around
play,
a corner.
they do not go to the Super Bowl. They lose that game. So they won that game because of him, not in spite of him. And therefore, the Brady lore grew. From there, who even knows what happened? It was just like, it just became a whirlwind of Tom Brady.
I mean, at the end of the day, Bill Belichick got exposed for being a terrible drafter.
Yep. That's all I wanted to say.
Yes,
he
true.
should not be in charge of who the people.
That's all you had to say, PJ.
What? I'm just saying.
Belichick was a terrible drafter.
I mean,
you would have had me a hello.
I'm just saying. I mean,
they had a little knack for quarterbacks there, but
he drafted a couple of good players in his 20 years.
Look at the other guys.
He didn't draft Garoppolo.
Yeah,
who drafted Garoppolo? I think he did. Yeah, Garoppolo failed. Bailey Zappi failed.
I wanted Garoppolo. That doesn't mean shit.
I'm saying there was a point in time that they had some decent quarterbacks rolling through there behind Brady, but you couldn't replace Brady anyways.
Right.
Oh, that was the only niche he had going. Receivers, he doesn't even know what they are. He has no idea how to look at them. Look at all the receivers he's drafted. Name 3 of them that he drafted that are big. Mediocre.
Troy Brown.
What did he do? I'm just saying, we're stumbling for names. I think I can't remember the guy who they got now. That's
another one.
Myers is in the Raiders now.
How about
Kobe Myers got a touchdown tonight?
How about the slot receiver?
He didn't draft Welker.
Yeah,
maybe Edelman. Edelman.
Edelman was a quarterback too.
Yeah, Edelman was made into that position and practiced. So if you go listen to some of his interviews, he made himself what he was.
Yeah.
There's stories of him where, and he's told these stories where Belichick said something to him once and he screwed it up and he got down, he went off on him and he goes, I didn't talk to him for a fucking year. These are just recently. I mean, I'm just seeing this stuff recently with Edelman. Edelman's hilarious, man. He's got some great stories about that. So there was a lot of crap going on there for a decade that we know nothing about.
I love this. Cliff saying this, like little interaction here. Cliff saying, I love this show because you guys are making me think. And I said, you are just sick, Cliff. He said,
Well, I mean, to your credit, Foster, he did draft Deion Branch.
But he hasn't succeeded. I don't know. He should not be in charge over there. Look what's going on in the last 5 seasons, I'll say. When did Brady leave? Have they done anything?
That's why he's gone at the end of this year, right?
Yep.
Just talks. They don't know if it's real or not. But that's what I mean. He shouldn't be in charge. And up to a point, like there comes a break point in everything where there's going to be a net loss. And right now, you're in that period of Bill Belichick's career where everything he does is a net loss for your team.
Yeah, I just
it's not good.
At the chance or the reality of sounding redundant, build up the talent around this team. That's where I'm at. Just build up the talent and to where next man up.
You need a bunch of darts, man. You need 10
Well,
darts.
it's not even so much a bunch of darts as more so for me. It's more about, okay, instead of having the number one pick, I want 3 number 1 picks. So I'm not trying to like trade it for, like, let's say this is a bad example, but this is the best example I want to come up with. I'm not trying to trade a 2nd round draft pick to get 6 5th round draft picks. I mean, that's too much. I'd rather give me the high end talent still.
Mm-hmm.
Still give me the high end talent, but I may not get the number 1, but I can get the 2nd best receiver. I can get while at the same time getting the 2nd best defensive end and the 2nd best offensive tackle. I can get all these second, who's not maybe the best, because those other guys will be good enough to elevate the whole team. Because again, we're more than just one player away, and therefore I'm about just stacking more players.
I love what you're saying, PJ. I think we can all agree that's probably the best route to go for this team. Build it kind of like the Dallas Cowboys teams in the 90s with all the draft picks. You can stock up for all of this, everything that's happened in this team in the last couple of years. It's been pretty cool. For anyone to shit on polls for that has to kind of like reevaluate their thoughts. Guys, we have to end the show because we are going on over 3 hours now. I want to get to this that Cliff says. Yes. Guys, we beat Detroit and we should have beaten them twice. The Bears are getting close. That is perfectly said.
Mm-hmm.
To end the show with, Cliff, because you are correct. This team is getting close. They have proven it with not only their first division win of the season 2 weeks ago, but then by beating 2 division teams in a row to get back-to-back wins for the first time under this Flus regime. We've talked about tonight, we're pretty well off with our injury report as concerned to the Browns. Yannick's injury does suck, but I think that we can easily come back from that based on the team that we're playing. I mean, shit. Flacco was on the practice squad right now, so who knows? Somebody made a good joke about, hey, let's just sign him from the practice squad. Give them a contract that they can't, match. Oh, we'll give him a 1-year, $5 million contract, and then we can just cut him right away. We'll put him on the roster as a 3rd-string quarterback this year. Ha ha ha! Not going to happen, but fun to think of. I do have to go to bed, guys. So let's wrap this up. You guys are awesome. Everyone in chat, let's get to the chat, guys. Zach Sullivan, Cliff Victoria, hanging out sick tonight with us, man.
Yes.
You the man.
Hope you feel better, buddy.
You are the man, Cliff. Thanks for hanging out with us. Mo Bierman.
Raging Oracle.
Joe Treviso.
Joe Treviso. Raging Oracle. You guys are
DJ
awesome.
Williams.
I'm just gonna go all
Rom.
Plank hanging out with us tonight.
Plankster. James Ford.
James Ford, STC.
SDC.
PJ.
STC Scott went to his
Jay
phone.
Grizz.
Yes.
Pickles.
Jay Grizz in the house.
Foster Covers?
Who the hell is
Mr.
that?
Shorty? Who are those fuckers?
For Shortino. King
Shri-
Pookie Nation.
How do you pronounce it? Is it Shriham?
Ram.
Shriham.
No, Ram, like Rahm Emanuel.
Sri Ram.
There you go.
Shriram. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight, man. I see your email. We would love to have you on the show, so we will arrange that with you. Jeremy Munoz, Swifty
Swifty in the house.
Heidi.
Swifty in the house.
Heidi.
I hope they're okay down there, man.
I hope you're doing well, Heidi. You can come stay here while we go to Florida if you need a place to stay for a couple of months.
Unapologetic truth. Yeah, see, look, he told me the same thing. Dan said I could come down and visit him in the winter if I stay in the house in Atlanta while he's in Florida, but I can only stay for 2 weeks in the garage.
Dang.
Yes.
And you can't work on his roof.
Nope.
In the garage. You'll have to sleep in the back of my Jeep. My Jeep Cherokee.
Man.
My Jeep Wrangler.
I've been living in that. That's comfortable.
We see that. We thought you were like in a fucking fishing hut or something.
I know. Somebody said thought I was in a tent. I think Chris thought I was in a tent. Mark Kazak.
Zach Sullivan.
Went to bed early.
Yeah. And CJ, yes, you can come back to redeem yourself at some point.
You guys are awesome. Without New Breed hanging out with us. Oh, also Steve from Sports Talk Network.
Sports Talk. Yeah.
Sports Talk Network. Steve, Packers fan, and New Breed Steve, Lions fan. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yep.
I mean, we support you guys. I mean, you guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting us. Yes. Everyone else, if we've missed you, Jason, UK Bears. By the way, we should just go down the lineup for this rest of the week. Are we doing a post-game, pre-game for this game?
Up to you guys.
Are we? We're doing
Stay
a post game, right, Walt?
Oh, we always are.
Yep. Stay tuned for that. Walt, you got that, man. Make your thumbnail. That's your guys' show, man. Kick some ass on that. Stay tuned again for we probably will do the last call at Hallis Hall on Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time with Dan Aguirre. And then next week, of course, we are going to actually be on Just Another Year, Nick Rohde's podcast. We're going to return the favor and be a guest on his show on December 26th. I think at like 7:30 p.m. Central Time or something.
While we're getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep wondering why he wants to do that to himself again. But
I know. Well, we've never been on his show. It'll be the first time. We might never come back, but we'll find out what happens when we're on his show.
He's not that far away from me, man. I just figured it out. You know what he's trying to do, Pete? He's trying to get us there and get us in my wall. It's the perfect crime.
And then, of course, the lowdown with Lynn. She's recovering from a knee replacement surgery, so we'll see what happens. We can't guarantee a show next week, but then we will be back with you next Thursday, the 21st, and we will announce our guest. We're still trying to figure that out, but we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Cliff has one more question for the next show. Are you more or less the same interested in the Bears now as you expected? Or that's for next week. Okay. We'll save that for next week. Cliff, we love you.
What about a score prediction real quick? Anybody?
Yeah, you want a score prediction for this? Let's go.
28-16 Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
go, chat. Quick
And
quick prediction.
That's what they, when they're kind of on the shelf, that's what they give. They always give the away team 3 points. So Vegas is even a little off here this week with it, man. They're not sure.
I think we go a little more. Go 31-16. Bears.
Ooh,
I like
Walt
that. I like,
jumping on the bandwagon.
I like that, Walt.
Big score. I
I'm
think
going last. You're up next, PJ.
27-17
somebody else
Bears.
had a big score too down there.
All right. So nobody has anything more than 18 points on the Browns, right? So I'm going to go 35-14 Bears.
Whoa.
35.
We're gonna fucking lose, Shorty.
No, we're getting 5 touchdowns, guys,
That'd be nice.
and every extra point.
That'd be
Come back
nice.
to earth now, Peach.
Huh?
I just was wondering what you're going.
No, I already said it.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, that's because you was talking.
That's right. Can you please repeat it?
27-17 Bears.
Okay.
35-14. What did you say, Foster?
What?
What was your score prediction?
28-16.
Okay. And what was
It's on
yours, Walt?
Twitter already too. I said it with somebody and they laughed.
31. 31-16.
31-16.
Walt and I are going. We're in the 30s, guys. Let's kick some ass.
Yeah, it's in
3
Cleveland.
points.
That was
It's in Cleveland.
No, I misclicked my my mouse.
guys. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us in chat. You guys are what makes this go around. We will probably be doing at least a post game this weekend. Stay tuned for that. And on a 1, 2, 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Bears.
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 Bears.